That bot forgot me on the intro and the outro.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Yo,
Poor now.
what is going on, people? It is Saturday night and next podcast is live. Guys, I had to go live, man. First off, we were waiting for K Mega. He was a couple minutes late, as usual. But,
Just a minute late.
Man, it was like 7:05 when you got it.
It was 3 minutes, dude. Come on now.
Yo,
It was 3.
But, yo, as usual, chat, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the next podcast. Guys, we have a fire show for you. We have hot topics and even hotter opinions because we do have a special guest. But I'm going to save the best for last. So I'm going to start off the intros with that gamer. You know, he's coming live from the 405, and he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there, you know, after 7:05. K Mega!
Wait a minute. You said you was saving the best for last. Why am I first?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a
Going
math,
on here, man?
it's a math thing. It's a math thing, man. What's going on, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing pretty good, man. I've been really busy. You know, as I showed everybody, you know, me making this beast computer, and I do have a confession to make that I did set something on fire, and I had to replace it. I had to replace my motherboard and my
You set your motherboard on fire?
I fired that son of a gun up, bro. Okay, see, this is what happened. I'll be real quick. All right, so you know, I bought me a new a battery, right, or a power supply, and it was a 750 watt, right? So it has on the back of it a 6.2 pin, and so or pin. So I put the 6 and the 2 pin in there, and then plugged it into the into my graphics card. Next thing you know, I start smelling smoke in my I start smelling burning and smoke, and then my damn motherboard started steaming.
That means the 4K is working.
I guess so. I said, "Oh my god!" And I took it out, and the next thing you know, I had the blue screen of death. Everything just went bad. So I had to go get new parts. I had to replace this. I was like, "Oh my god!" So the motherboard was fried. But you know what? It's all working. You hear me talking, so that means that you don't hear any sounds. The computer's purring like a cat.
We
So
will
Master Race.
see how it goes, man, because I know you have had some issues with your microphone, with the old computer, so
Yes.
I am going to be listening to see if everything is smoothed out, because you got a K Mega beast machine for a PC now, right?
Right. Yes, I do. Yes.
All right, brother.
I'm
Well,
glad to be here, man. And I'm really happy, man. I'm good as always.
nice, bro. Next on the list, this dude, he has decided to put down the gloves that he uses to save the world just to come in live on this show and to talk games with you guys. Dark Optimus!
Hey, everybody. I'm here.
You sound
yeah.
very excited, by the way. The energy is just
No,
amazing.
I'm excited, dude. I'm absolutely excited. I had a day off, and I was just like, you know, I'm gonna come in and hang out with my fellow podcasters and fellow gamers and just talk about games.
Nice. And I know there's two particular games you want to talk about, so I'm gonna save that till the end. All right.
Yeah, of course you will.
All right.
Yeah, you always do that to me, so it's fine.
All right, bro. Well, next on the list, he is the self-proclaimed sixth man of the gaming podcast community. But over here on this channel, on this show, we consider him an all-star. Predator!
Yo, what's up, everybody? Glad to be here. I might have to cut my visit short today. I gotta go pack and go to California tomorrow for about a week, so won't be on the show next week either. So I gotta get all my jabs in the K Mega's ashy ass today.
Ashy.
K
K Mega, can white people get ashy? That's what we were talking about.
Yes, they can.
No, we can get dry skin. We can't get ashy.
No. Don't try to do that proper etiquette bullshit with me. White folks get ashy as hell. Dusty. Them elbows, knees, and them fingers, they get ashy.
I don't know what you're talking about, 'cause I don't get ashy.
I bet you ashy right now. I bet you got crust on your lips. You
Guys,
sound like
I am so sorry I started this, man.
Oh, shoot.
This podcast is about to go into a completely different category, so I got to bring it back.
And I
here.
haven't even started drinking the Crown yet. We about to get started, man. Let's go.
All right, guys. Well, next on the list is one of the most opinionated, one of the most entertaining YouTubers that I have seen, an up-and-comer. He is getting worked to death in his basically his real job, but he still comes in tonight to share his thoughts and opinions about gaming with you guys. My brother, Knoxximus!
Yo, what's good, everybody, man? You know, we gonna get it in today, man. And yeah, bro, I've been on the grinding, bro. They treating me like a redheaded stepchild at work here, but it is what it is, man. You know, I'm gonna get into these topics. Let's get this shit cracking.
Hopefully, you got a cup of coffee. Did you get a cup of coffee, man? You good to go with the caffeine?
I got a Guinness. That's as close to coffee as I'm gonna get right now.
Hey, it's dark, man. It's dark, and I think we accept that over here. I know Daz is probably cheering you right now. I'm like, beer!
It's my man, beer! UK Daz, what's goody?
All right, brother, and just to let you know, see, I did not forget about you, man.
I don't doubt.
All right. Well, next on the list, you know, it is always a great show when the Sesh Empire invades next podcast, and it is going down tonight with the leader. Everybody, put your hands together for So Shady!
Thank you, my man. It is damn good to be here. It's been a damn good day. It is my brother's 29th birthday. He's got 8 other friends over. They're all gamers, and it is a Smash tournament going down just in the other room. So if anyone hears any banging, clanging, screaming, anything like that, that's what that is. But I told them to be as loud as they want. So, yeah.
Nice.
Just in case. But, man, I'm hyped to be here, dude. There has been some serious game news, some serious games dropping, about to drop. It's like the second holiday with only, a month and a half into the new year. Oh, my God. I can't wait to get going, man. I'm hyped.
Nice, brother. Nice. And I thank you for joining us, especially, you know, with it being your brother's birthday. I'm not sure if you get into Smash or whatnot. Hopefully you get in on some gaming, you know, once we're done with the show.
Oh, of course. But there are priorities, and talking games with the crew and the community, that's number one.
Oh, man, you're making me blush right now. Yeah, I think you're making people in the chat blush. So let's go on to the first topic. And guys, at least a game has dropped recently from Respawn. It is a Battle Royale game, and it is a game that has caught fire, at least, you know, temporarily with the recent drop and everything, and it is called Apex Legends. Now, before this game dropped, it was rumored that it was supposed to be a Titanfall Battle Royale. People didn't know what was going on, but when it did come out, I swear, streamers, gamers, everybody, because it's a free-to-play game, went in and tried it, and I think within 72 hours, they had over 11 million people playing that game. Now, Shady, you are the special guest, so I am going to go with the first question and start with you, brother. First off, I got to ask, have you played Apex Legends?
I have. I think I'm ranked 7, so maybe a dozen or so, like dozen and a half matches. No wins yet, unfortunately, but I have played it. And I got to say, man, this is my favorite VR game that I played so far. It's like a total package, man. Total package altogether.
Nice. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I was going to ask. You know, when it comes down to it, share your thoughts if you want to compare it to other battle royales, because there are quite a few out there. Where do you think this game, at least right now, where do you think this game lies in the whole battle royale category? And what do you think is its kind of like unique features or whatnot, man?
I think right now, as far as let's go with the stream viewing starters, we'll start with that. It's number 1. It's killing it right now, and I think it's going to stay that way for a while just because it is new. Whether or not Fortnite does climb back and take over again, I mean, that's probably a safe bet. That does have a lot of casual audience, a lot of the kids involved. They're hooked, man. They're crack addicted, for God's sakes. So I think that this game is going to sit at a very, very healthy number 2 spot on the VR ladder as far as popularity and people playing it and whatnot. But a lot of these trendsetters and whatnot, like the Dr. Disrespects and guys like that, they're bored of Fortnite. Like that game really changed up the stream game for those guys that are into it big time. You're either playing that game or you're not being watched anymore. And they're tired of it, man. They're sick of that game. Blackout was good for a while, but they're tired of that game too already, to be honest. And PUBG has already run its course with those guys. So I think as far as streaming is concerned, this game is going to dominate. As far as players are concerned, I think it's going to sit in number 2. I mean, 11 million or 12 million in 3 days is insane. If that keeps going up, that's great. But I mean, what's Fortnite at? Like 140 million a month? That's insane. Those numbers are crazy big.
All right.
So I don't think it's going to conquer it, but the things I love about it, the music is really good. It has a lot of character to the game itself. Like the actual characters speak to each other when you're running around, when you're doing things, congratulating each other on kills, when you pick each other up. Speaking of which, you can revive dead teammates.
Oh my goodness,
So,
what a concept, man.
yeah, that's awesome. So like now when you're playing and you die, you're not sitting there on your ass for like 20-30 minutes watching your buddies to see if they win. There's a chance to come back. It adds to that adventure of the team trying to become the champion team at the end. I really like that. I love jumping as a united squad. That is fantastic as well. It feels cool. It looks cool. It's also choice, which is also great. And the ping system is second to none in video games for me. My God, you can click on anything with a quick right bumper. It audibly says what it is for everyone on your team, and then it highlights it for everybody as well. I was playing with a buddy just the other day. He needed a bunch of ammo and was like a football field and a half away from me. I threw the ammo he needed down, highlighted him within a second, and I ran off to go do my looting. He knew where he needed to go. It was great. Like, it just works.
Nice.
And that sliding mechanic where you just slide down the hills for as long as the hill is, that feels good too, man. Like, I think the game is here to stay. It's got the best map, the most varied. The weapons feel good. I think they're going to be really bringing out a lot of, skins and DLC for the people out there that like that. And just more weapons, more powers, more characters, more maps. Like, this game's here to stay.
Nice. And I got to say, for the most part, I definitely agree with you. It is definitely a unique battle royale. Sometimes, when you take all the little things, the little nuances, and you start adding them all together, it becomes a totally almost different experience. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. Now, you were definitely comparing it to Fortnite. I heard you say Blackout real quick, but...
I did, yeah. Compared to directly to Blackout, I think it's going to hurt that game the most. I really do. Like, they're similar, but then it's so different enough, and it's just way more exciting both to watch and to play. Blackout needs to start mixing up something. I'm not sure what it is, but something's got to get changed up in that game because it's slowing down, man, and this game's free. It doesn't cost a penny. And it's like firing on all cylinders. So I think compared directly to COD, it's going to smoke that one.
Nice. And that free part, as Dark would tell me, I was going to say free 99, but he has totally killed that for me tonight. So I'm just going to go with free on that. That free part, it definitely means a lot. Let's move on to Dark. Now, Dark, have you tried Apex Legends at all?
Nope.
No? Do you care about Apex Legends at all?
Nope.
Damn it! Next.
You know what it is. It's because it's a battle royale, and I don't typically get into battle royales, but I did talk to a buddy the other day, and he was all like, "Dude, you got to try it because it's definitely different from any other battle royale you've ever played before." And I was just like, "All right." I like the sound of that because he was saying that it's definitely a battle royale that a lot of people who don't like that battle royales can get into because of the fact that it's kind of different because you have different abilities, you have different characters, things like that. You have more. I guess he was just saying like
there's more personality
yeah.
in it, man.
That's what he was saying, and I was just like, all right, I'll check it out when I can. I know it's free. I have it downloaded, but I haven't tried it out yet. I'll probably try it out this weekend.
Are you like too busy playing like Kingdom Hearts or something like that?
No, dude. I've been playing that Division 2 beta, dude.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna save that for last, by the way, in terms of the topics. But all right, brother. I definitely suggest because it's free as long as you have space on your hard drive. I definitely suggest trying it out. And, when you do go on, you download it or whatnot, check to see if I'm online, because I'll definitely roll with you, man. All right?
Definitely, dude.
All right, bro.
Sounds good.
Yo, Predator. I know you like games that have, like, kind of like good gunplay and stuff like that. Have you tried out Apex Legends yet?
I actually jumped into it today for the first time. I played the day it released. I only got a chance to play one match, and I played with a bunch of randoms and it sucked, so... Today I got on with some of the guys from Four Guys with Quarters and play with those guys, and they know what they're doing. So they were teaching me the game. It's fun. It reminds me of like
you obviously weren't playing with clowns then, if you said they know what they're doing, right?
Oh! Clowns was playing too, but I don't think I was in his match. He was playing with someone else. But I was playing with Yeti and
Oh, yo,
assassin.
my bad, Predator. Real quick, Tip Diamond has hit up the super chat. Thank you, my brother, for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. He says, "What is up next, podcast crew?" Dude, you know we are hyped. Saturday night live here for you guys. But go ahead, Pred. You said you got into the game, man. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it's something to do. I just know when Division comes out and Anthem comes out, I won't touch this. And I think, like Shady was saying, like people are kind of tired of playing Fortnite. They want something else, you know, to kind of jump into, and just kind of like PUBG died down, Fortnite became king. Fortnite's dying down, you know, and this will probably take over for a little while until something else comes around. But it's the same thing I have with every battle royale. It's just, you know, with the exception of PUBG, and I don't play Fortnite at all, but like you got that one map and that's it, you know. So they got to add more content, more maps to it. Right now it's new, and this one's more like character based, so it's not like, you know, you just jump like PUBG, you just jump in with the random, you know, the character you created, and you find weapons. Like these people have, you know, set abilities, which is a little different than what we've played in the past. So I like that aspect of it. I like that you jump as a squad. So like usually when I play like any other battle royale mode, there's always that one guy that floats off the wrong way, or he doesn't jump fast enough or jump soon enough and misses the target. So I like that you can jump as a squad and you guys land together. You guys are as a team. You guys land as a team. That's one of my favorite parts. And the ping system isn't new. I just think it's like, you know, because I used to use it in Battlefield all the time as a spotter.
All right,
you know?
Battlefield. Got you. Yeah, I can see that.
And even Ghost Recon, like you could use that in Ghost Recon too. You can, you know, target enemies and locations. But I've always loved that feature in games, and I hate that they don't put that in games more, especially nowadays when people don't always use the headset.
Yeah, you know, people are like, you know, allergic to headsets nowadays.
Yeah, they're either in party chat with somebody else, or this, like, you know, while they're playing, they don't play the game as a team, and that's what I really hate about some of the shooters we have nowadays. Like most people don't play as a team unless you're actually in a party with them or whatever. But I love the ping system. I'm glad they brought that in. You can actually highlight enemies and highlight locations and directions and stuff like that. So it's like non-verbal communication. That is one of my favorite parts of this game. Will it stick around? I don't know. They're gonna have to add more characters into the game at some point in time. But as its first launch, you know, coming out with a ghost launch, I'll call it that.
Yeah, that was like out of nowhere, man.
Yeah. I think they're gonna do fairly well because there wasn't a lot of hype around it. No one knew it was coming out. It's kind of like boom, here it is. So, and everybody wanted to jump on it because it was brand new and it was free, $99. So
watch out, Dark's gonna get you, man.
So I think that all helped it out. Like the fact that it was launched quietly, no one had a chance to talk down on it, you know, and it was free.
And it worked. How about that?
It worked.
Yeah.
It wasn't fucked up. You know,
that?
I've had some glitches, but it was like very, very like random crap. Like it slows down or something like that, and like the frames drop a little bit. But like for the most part, it works. You know, like there's nothing really wrong with the game as far as, you know, stability and stuff like that. Maybe getting dropped out of servers every now and then, but I think they were doing something with the servers around that time.
You know,
that's like a message to the industry that everyone out there is doing these tech tests and betas. They're broken to shit. This last second fixes, they launch busted. Like, do you think that maybe this is like, hey guys, get your shit together? Like, this game came out of nowhere, no stress test, no beta test, millions within days, and more or less has pulled it off. Like very, very small problems, but nothing that is, it's not breaking nothing. Like that is something to be said. I think the rest of the industry needs to wake the fuck up.
And it's not even in game preview, is it?
Nothing.
No.
It's just launch. It's just boom out and running a million miles an hour with 10+ million people instantly going. This should be busted. I can't accept there's not enough servers up running or this or that ever again for anything. Like what? Go look at Apex Legends. Fuck me, follow that standard.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Yo, first off, I want to give a couple shout outs here. Yo, Microbox of X, my brother Microbox is in the chat. What is going on, brother? Yo, we got Indie Gamer in the house. Of course, we got UK Dazarus. Daz, I am coming for you in MK11, man. Remember that. I think you're shaking right now. Your beer might be shaking in your hand. Of course, Yo B Dren. Yo, what is going on,
I
bro?
don't think he's shaking at all, dude.
No, he is. He is. He's scared. He's scared right now because
I don't think so.
they announced that
He's way too good. He's way too good
they
in Mortal
announced
Kombat,
Cabal. Cabal is gonna be in the game, and he does
dude.
not.
Yeah,
want
he might
me.
be. He might be your character, but I'm telling you right now, UK Daz can kick your ass with any character, dude. I'm
Wow,
telling you that right
that's
now.
almost like a song lyric right there. UK Daz can kick your ass. Like I can hear it, man.
That was too corny of a song lyric, though.
Well, that's why it's not a song. But I heard it though. I heard
Yeah.
it. But yo, Pred, before I move on to K Mega with talking about this game, Pred, I've noticed this and I see a trend. You know, we talk to Dark, we talk to Shady, and talking to you, and I hear like comparisons to Fortnite all the time. Like my opinion, to me, this is more like in comparison to Blackout in Call of Duty. Why do you think? Because I've heard it out there as well. Why do you think more people are like comparing it to Fortnite than any other kind of like battle royale, man?
A, because it's a battle royale. B, because I think a lot of people are streaming it right now. Like I don't really hear a lot of people streaming Blackout. You hear a lot of people streaming like the main streamers right now. I don't watch streaming, just to put that out there as a caveat, but I don't typically watch people play video games. I play them myself, but like the major streamers are playing this game right now. I don't remember hearing their names when Blackout was out. It's like,
yeah,
I
but
don't even know what its
Blackout was supposed to be
popularity
the Fortnite killer. Like when because the Call of Duty audience, man, everybody freaking buys that game.
yeah.
Like what do you think happened, man?
I just think like with Blackout, like I just think like the lack of story, kind of killed that. But for some people, like I play it for the story. I don't really play online Blackout, but I kind of am forced to now because I don't have a choice. But and I wasn't even gonna get it, but I had too many people that were playing it, so I decided to get it because they played it. But I just think that because the main streamers that a lot of people watch are playing the game, and that's what's helping with the popularity of the game. That's why people compare it to Fortnite, because those guys were probably playing Fortnite at some point in time when they moved on. Even Shady said it a minute ago, like they got tired of playing that shit.
And it's free.
And it's free. Yeah, so
Great point
I'm
right
like
there,
Call of Duty.
too.
Yeah, so it's Fortnite. So
Nice. All right, I was just wondering because like when I first started playing the game, like my mind didn't automatically go to Fortnite. But yeah, I mean you make valid points in terms of streamers actually streaming this game now because they have that they're getting tired of Fortnite, and me personally, I don't blame them. I don't really play Fortnite. I actually like the save the world aspect of Fortnite more than the battle royale. But again, that's just me. But let's get to K Mega. Like he's been quiet. He's got a brand new PC. I know he's ready to go here. Yo, Mega, have you tried Apex Legends yet, man?
Just a tutorial.
Really? How did you just do the tutorial and not get into a round? Hello?
I mean, man, I'm just looking at my. Never mind. I'll have to talk to you about it later. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, no, I just played the tutorial. I've been really busy. I've been busy between work and then, of course, messing with this computer. So I ain't really been. I just did the tutorial, got in. I said, "Oh man, I'll check it out later." And the one thing about it, I did find it to feel very reminiscent to Titanfall 3, or just Titanfall, period. And it seemed pretty cool. But other than that, no, I haven't really got into like getting into the game and actually playing it.
You know what, brother? I know what happened, and dude, we are a live show. We don't hold anything against the audience. Let them know about your gameplay.
What happened?
I accidentally pulled the wrong gameplay.
Okay.
For your winning gameplay. I mean, I can't be perfect all the time, bro.
I didn't say. I just was like, "Whoa!" I sit there and gave you a week in advance. I was like, "Okay."
No, you won that. Like you won the last time. It was 2 weeks ago because we didn't have a show.
Well, yeah, we didn't have a show last week.
So
yeah,
you and Predator both won. I don't know what is going on with the audience, but man, people are loving ties when it comes to the voting. So you and Pred won. All right.
That's the new hotness right now.
Yeah, it's all about ties. So maybe me and Knox, because we're going head to head tonight. Maybe we'll just tie. How about that? But yeah, so I don't know. I think I might have picked the wrong gameplay here, but it's still awesome gameplay. So.
Well, thank you. But yeah, no. But no, I didn't get. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play it. I just I said, I've been really busy.
You were able to get with the tutorial, they kind of told you about your abilities, and everything like that. where do you think this game is gonna sit? Do you think with the gunplay? Because I think the gunplay is like second to none right now. Like better than Call of Duty or whatnot. I mean, it's Respawn who's doing it, so you can pretty much guarantee that is gonna feel good. But dude, what do you think is gonna happen with this game? Do you think it's got legs, man?
You know what? We'll see. I mean,
dude, that's the easy way out, man. Can I?
No. This is okay. Okay, you got Anthem, you got the Division, you got Destiny still. You have the Battle Royale coming out for Battlefield coming out in March. You have Call of Duty's Blackout. Plus, you have PUBG. I mean, and then of course there's going to be there's still Fortnite. So I mean, something's got to give. Something's got to give, and unfortunately, I don't really know which one is going to be the one to falter. I mean, even as though I think Battlefield is going to be very, very intriguing because it's Battlefield
you're
and you
a
have a Battle
Battlefield fanboy. Let's be real
here.
here.
But I'm saying because of the fact that it hasn't came out yet, that it could be lost in the fray. Apex Legends seems to have a lot of people excited about it. It's just all, the free-to-play thing angle to it is a winner, especially with the game feeling that good because, like you said, the controls are just extra tight.
Yeah.
Feels very smooth.
Yeah. And
even though I did only slide down a mountain once, it was kind of fun. So I was like, okay, this game got a lot of potential. So, as long as people can play the game and grind out and it's not a play to win, then I think everything will be fine. I think this game could have some legs. I think that's just two games that's just got to that will be pretty much dead by summer.
Well, Mega,
and I don't know which ones it will be.
Now check this out, and I hear what you're saying. We can take PUBG and we can put this to the side because I think what's going on with PUBG is there is a cult following to PUBG. PUBG is not reaching the high numbers, but I feel like there's a lot of people, including myself. Like I still play PUBG. I think they're doing a great job in terms with the new snow map. They're gonna bring in nighttime on the snow map as well, which is gonna bring another element to that game. And there's always like you're never sitting there waiting to get into a game. So I feel like there's a cult following there, and people are gonna play that for a long time. It might not hit those millions and millions of people playing that it did in the beginning, but there's always gonna be a server to jump on. So, with that being said, what would be the other two games then that could possibly fall off?
Man, I really do. I mean, PUBG's got, like you said, PUBG's got has its cult.
Yeah.
This is like what Fred was saying. Like, I didn't even buy COD this year. This is the first year that I have not bought a COD in like almost 20. So, I think COD might be in trouble. Because the one thing with COD players, this is where COD lose. They lose their player base around this time because of the DLC. There's some players that
start splitting.
They start splitting. With Apex, it's not going to be a split. With Battlefield, it's not as cheap as now as the deluxe is. Like you only pay $8 to $5 for the deluxe. That ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? So for also with Battlefield, it stays out. It's a 2-year series instead of a 1. Anthem is the next big thing. Division is going to be extremely, extremely popular as well. Man, I mean, PUBG is going to have its core, but I think their core is going to mostly be on PC, not so much on the consoles. I think there's going to be some people out there moving away from PUBG on the Xbox and start going to these other games. So I think PUBG and maybe even you might not like to hear this, but I think Destiny is in a bad spot right now.
Hey, what? Yo, Pred, do you have a crystal ball or something? I didn't. Pred, you heard. I didn't bring that up. I didn't bring that game up.
I know.
Yeah, that was K Mega who said the D word on a live show. But Daz, yeah, we'll see when Mortal Kombat 11 comes out. I'm watching the chat, Daz. I'm seeing what's going on, and your little super fanboy, Mr. Dark Optimus over here. Yeah,
I'm telling you, dude, he's gonna whoop your ass.
All right,
I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be tearing spines out of someone's ass.
Oh, horrible picture, but it's so true. But
I'll be the one that's sitting there getting the spine whipped out of his ass. That's what'll happen. Because I suck at those games, man. I can't play those games.
All right. Well, since K Mega, I'm about to. You don't have a problem getting into touchy subjects, right?
Oh, I'm with that.
Because
Come on.
I saw that recently. It came out with Apex Legends being as successful and stuff like that. Respawn came out and said that 2 of their characters are part of the LBGTQ community. All right, and I got to put a disclaimer out there. Yeah, I don't judge people. All right, I have no judgment. I don't care what your preference is with anything like that. Okay, that doesn't matter to me. But I got to ask you, Mega, what do you think about Respawn coming out and saying this stuff? Is this necessary in games? Because the way I look at it, the less you know about the character, but you know like the personality, you can kind of put yourself in as that character. So if you are a part of a community like the LBGTQ, then you automatically kind of like the character kind of absorbs your characteristics. In my opinion, if you're playing as them, you kind of think of them as an extension of yourself. But what do you think, man? Like with them coming out, like what do you think about that announcement, dude?
Okay.
I said it was a touchy subject, dude.
Yeah, like I mean, okay. So they basically, because I didn't hear about this. So they actually came out and said that they were for lesbians and gays. Okay, that's
2 characters.
For 2 characters. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing, right? I think that when you touch on those subjects, look, that's all fine and good. You know how I am about people of color and women protagonists. I love it. And look, there are people that are homosexual, and if they want to be represented, that's fine. I have no problem with that either. To cater to anyone, even for to come out and say, look, hey, we got black women on there. Hey, come on, black women gamers, come on down. That to me sounds really pitiful. Look,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? No, make the characters, and like you said, let you jump in and let the people enjoy that. Look, I am so cool. I'm so happy about more black protagonists being in games. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's just like with how it's #SaveLock. But I would be feeling it would be cringeworthy to hear anybody from 343, a spokesperson, to come out and says, "Hey, look, we have Agent Locke, and he's a black man, and we also have Sergeant Johnson. Those are black gentlemen, and we want the black community to feel, look, bruh, I get that, that's nice, but I don't want a white person telling me that. Just make the goddamn character so I can play with them. That's all I care about."
I think the difference between the example you're using is that having a black character doesn't need to be said because it's seen and it's obvious, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas someone's sexual preference, you can't judge. Like we all think that we can do because the hairstyles or clothes they wear or the way that their body language tends to be or this or that, stereotypes, right? So without doing that, and you can get yourself into a lot of trouble trying to do that. Well, I thought you were gay, or I didn't think you were. All those things. Like, we don't walk around with badges of our sexuality, and basically, generally, most people assume it's heterosexual. Unless anything is said, the assumption is it's heterosexual. Like, generally it is. Unless you're hitting the stereotype so hard, then it's kind of obvious. But then it's so stereotyped, it's also somewhat offensive. So without kind of even saying that one of the characters is gay or this or that, no one would know, and it would just be people's guesswork.
Let me ask this, guys. Maybe you guys could answer this because this is what will make the difference, in my opinion, right? Mm-hmm. Did Respawn come out and use this as a marketing type of tool? Like, hey, and just so you know, we got 2 gay and lesbian characters in the game, whatever, or were they just there, like part of their backstory, whatever, and someone noticed it and then put it out there, and that's the reason?
They tweeted it out.
Who tweet? Respawn?
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of both.
That's where it's unnecessary.
It's just the reality of the situation, though. We're in a time period now where we're including groups that weren't previously included is something that is like it or not, a marketed thing. Like, it does bring a lot of attention, and they do know it. I don't think that was the number one reason why it's there. I think it's because we are in a different world now where there's a little bit of everybody in a lot of our entertainment these days, and that's a good thing. And because of that case, like I said before, if you don't talk about some of it, it's impossible to know, and it's only assumptions that are being made, unlike, say, skin color, race, someone's height or weight. Those things are visual and are easy to identify. They don't need to be put on a banner like we have an XYZ as the main character. Whereas someone's sexual preference, and because sexual preference today has become such a hot topic, I think that's why it's being done. Like, I didn't like the announcement either. I'm not necessarily defending it, but I understand why it's being done, because without it, everyone just assumes heterosexual, and then you just have people guessing which ones might be or might not, and they're arguing over it now, and it's weird.
But the thing is, it doesn't even matter in the game.
It doesn't matter in anything. No, it doesn't matter in anything. No movies, no books. Like, it really doesn't. Unless the movie is about someone's relationship or the game is about a relationship, someone's sexuality, it doesn't matter. But it is a part of who people are. I don't think that it needs to be worn on anyone's chest as a badge of honor on who you decide to be attracted to or sleep with. That's kind of nuts. But because it's only recently been more and more accepted, let's put it, like, it's not 100%, that's obvious, but more and more accepted, and that's new, that's why it's a little bit loud and proud for the moment. We will eventually get to a point where it doesn't matter again like it didn't before, but because they're actually allowed to exist in the streets without having stones thrown at them and things like that, just insanity, because we live there in a good place, it's a little bit loud and proud. So we just kind of have to deal with it for a bit, and it'll just become the normal.
Well, yeah, I get that, but this is the whole thing about this is, look, if these characters didn't have a backstory, like if they're going to introduce a story mode of some kind of where you can know about their story,
like
about their
bio.
background, like a bio or something, and then maybe that they have their lover on the side or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I could see them announcing that, but I really don't think that you should. Just bring the characters out and then let people make the assumptions of whoever. I mean, because look, I don't care what they put on there. They can put hermaphrodite on the damn thing. I don't care. As long as the game is fun, you play with it. That's your business. It's just the thing for me. Is just, look, don't try to make it seem like, well, this game is for you because we included this A, B, C, or D. You know what I'm saying? Let the game speak for itself. And if you have a story or a backdrop that gives that indication about what those characters are, then that's cool. It's just like with Mass Effect, right? When you could play with, you could, I guess, I didn't do it, but there's, they say that you can have a homosexual relationship or whatever with any of the guys or the girls, I guess, or whoever you picked as your character.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed too.
Yeah, and they didn't really promote that. They just went ahead and I don't think they did. I know that
they just had it. They just had it in the game.
Yeah, they just had it in the games, and the gamers promoted it like, hey, I like this because they included this into the game, and just other games, so forth. I think that's just should be the
that's the way it should be done.
Well,
that's the way it should be done.
I can see that because that is a part of the game. You're establishing relationships. You're in a world and kind of moving through the story and stuff like that. My whole thing, and shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for being a part of this discussion. I feel like it's an important thing to get out there, and I don't see anybody hating on anybody either, which is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna say Curry in the chat. I don't want to butcher your name, okay? But it says they basically said it does help with the kids seeing representation and acceptance. Eventually, it'll calm down. Now, with that, I understand where you're coming from, but with that, me growing up a gamer and playing games, I never really, especially with like a first-person shooter that you're going in multiplayer and stuff like that, I never really thought to myself,
well, I know you're here, Don.
what the sexuality of the character is, all right? And
no, but it's very subtly implied 99% of the time that they're hetero without saying it. Like, we all know the Master Chief is just because of his relationship with
I don't know
Cortana.
that. I mean, I don't.
You do. Like, he's attracted to Cortana.
Yeah,
you can kind of tell.
That
Like,
could
it's
have been
always
his bestie.
subtle.
What are you talking about?
It's not. it's not a banner because it's
that's
not
a little
needed to
deeper
be.
than that. Yeah.
Like heterosexuality is such a massive majority of the
I think
population
you
that it
guys
doesn't
got
need
some
to ever be
toxic
addressed.
masculinity
That's
going
all.
on, and you need to broaden your horizons. But
Like I'm,
You know what, I think-
I'm all
you know
for these
what, I-
characters doing whatever they want to do, but I mean, I don't. It's weird because it's new. That's all it is, and it's different, and it's not something that you can instantly identify. So, like, I haven't been watching the Apex Legends community. For all I know, in the last week, there has been massive discussion within the community about who may be gay or who this. Like, the characters do talk to each other in games, so there might be, say, a gay character that is a little cheeky with the same sex in the way that they speak. So people are wondering and asking questions, and this is no more than Respawn just clarifying. These are characters at the end of the day. They do have backstories. As much as it doesn't matter who they get, getting jiggy with it in a sack, it's still a part of who we are as people today.
okay.
And I'm fine with it. I mean, I really am. I'm fine with it.
All right.
You know what is funny is that you guys still haven't noticed that the Don's in here.
No,
Oh,
no,
I have.
I
I've got
have.
my
I thought you were
lipstick
gonna
all
come
on, ready
in.
to kiss that ring, baby.
Dark, I thought you were gonna come in with some inspiring words. I was gonna let you
Those
talk
are
about.
inspiring
Yeah.
words. I don't know what you're talking
Exactly.
about.
Like, why
man.
wouldn't I? No, you know what? This whole Apex Legends LGBTQ thing, I think is kind of it's just they're putting it out there, which is okay, like to let us know what characters are gay or lesbian or whatever, whatever their preference is. It's okay for them to let us know that. And I think people making a big deal out of it is just kind of ridiculous, because it's like, guys, does it really matter? Like that at least they did say something and they let us know, like.
Oh, I
what
thought you were gonna
characters
say.
are
So
what.
you basically think it didn't matter either way. It's good that they did that to
No.
show inclusion, but either way, it didn't really matter because basically it's a game.
Well, I
Right.
mean, you just
Well,
gotta look at
it
this
doesn't
though.
really-
There's people that don't even like women in
Well, let
World
me-
War II games.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let me finish here. Where they kind of they have been trying to let people know about these kinds of sexual preferences for a while now in gaming, and they've been doing it in movies too. They did it in a lot of movies as well. But I think it's just the times now. We're living in times where there's more people who have rights to certain things that they didn't have rights to before, and that's okay. Like that's fine, and I think us making a big deal out of it with gaming is just it's kind of just like I don't think we should make a big deal. I think we should just see that article and just be like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Don't make it seem like it's an agenda or seeing that they're pushing an agenda, because I don't really see them pushing an agenda. I just think they want people to know that, hey, this character is gay, or this character is a transgender or something like that. I just don't see why it's such a big deal.
I wouldn't even have known had I not seen like an article about
Yeah,
it.
but
And
would
then
you have even
Right.
cared?
even
like,
But
no,
wait,
hold
that's
on,
the thing, you don't
hold
even
on,
care.
hold on. I didn't know, and then looking at the characters, I would have never guessed which ones were gay anyway.
Yeah, I
Right.
can tell. It's not a glaring stereotype, which is kind of why I think maybe there was a lot of discussion within the community, which maybe is why it was even brought up. Because it's not stereotype heavy, so you can't instantly point one out and be like, look at the way he's standing and the way they speak and any other amount you want to throw on top. Like, it doesn't
Well,
exist.
Or maybe
Well, they
somebody in
realized
the
that
staff,
that
would have been
people in the
offensive,
staff
though,
that
you
was
know?
homosexual.
They-
Or that
they-
was, yeah. So I mean, that
Well,
could be
they
it as
would
well.
have they would have saw that and been like, well, that's offensive to this these people's sexual preference. It's just you can't really put those stereotypes in games and movies anymore because
That's
of
right,
the fact
we're past
that. Right, exactly, because we're past that.
yeah, the stereotypes themselves are they can be absolutely offensive in and of themselves.
Well, especially-
They
because-
can, and with
Well,
something like
especially when
sexual
you watch
preference,
when
you can't without it being stereotypes, you can't instantly see it. So they kind of have to say it. That's kind of what I was getting at the whole time, is without saying it,
Right.
no one knows, because the stereotypes have started to melt away, which is also a really good thing. Gay characters on TV aren't instantly in your face gay stereotype style. They're just someone who's gay, and without them saying something like, I got to go home and my boyfriend's waiting, you don't know. And there's so many people that get triggered because they're like, why does he have to say his boyfriend? I'm like, well,
right, yeah,
it's
exactly.
because you actually,
because
as a
that's the
heterosexual
character.
viewer, But as a heterosexual viewer, you don't count how many times people actually mention their boyfriend or their girlfriend in a heterosexual way. It's often. My girlfriend this, my boyfriend that, my wife, my husband, right?
Yeah,
like, it's all the time.
Yeah.
So this guy's going, hey, my boyfriend's at home. He's going to cook something and he's going to be pissed when I'm not there. Like, that's part of his character. That's a part of the story. But because, again, it's new and different, everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people in the world are counting them, and they're like, they're bringing it up for no reason.
Shady, me like, personally, well, I never had a problem with that. I never really got into, like, in terms of differences between people, I never really got into, you know, this person is different because of this, so I look at him a different way or anything like that. But I guess that's just me. I do want to give a huge shout out to Tempest, who supported this channel with the super chat. Thank you, my brother. He says, shout out to everyone on the panel. Love you guys. And then he put, no homo, just kidding, because of the topic. I see what you did there, brother. I see what you did. But we do have the Don, who decided to stop in. Maybe there was a conversation we were getting into that he might have wanted to chime in on. Don, what's going on, man?
Doing all right. So Shady was giving me a hard time because I didn't show up when he was here, so I had decided I had to make it known that I showed up to the podcast.
Now all we need is snaps, and we pretty much have everybody.
Yeah, and the funny thing is there was a delay on, so when I hopped in and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you guys are talking about something totally different than what I was listening to. So I'm like, all right, here you guys go.
All right, well, hold on, Sir X-Man hit up the super chat. Thank you, my brother. He says Ace Combat 4.9 what? Ace Combat 4.9 inch Xbox store and still not 4.9 in Xbox store and still basically no respect. Brother, I don't know what to tell you, man. I would gladly play the game like if I had it. All right, I do.
But
it's
it's a niche title.
Oh no, you and that.
It really is. It is. It's a niche title. It's not something that everybody enjoys. You know, there
like
are
Forza,
certain few that like that.
Like Forza, like racing games.
Racing games are niche, dude. Believe it or not, they are.
I think again, every single game is niche. The only non-niche thing on Earth is air and water. That's it. You can choose not to do anything else. That's about it, right?
I love how Shady said the only thing,
That's
and then
actually
he
true.
pointed out two things.
I said it with an S on the end of that.
Well, Don, do you have anything to chime in on this? You are a developer. I know you are developing a game and stuff like that. Like, do you think about kind of like you know, sexual preference and like, you know, kind of like thinking about different communities out there in the world while making your game, while developing characters and stuff like that?
No, I just care about creating cool content. Like, you know, a lot of what I put in my own personal game is how I've interacted with certain people in regards to that. So, I mean, that's just kind of the reflection. So, for me, a lot of like the things that people are very, I want to say sensitive, but on edge about, right? It's not something that I even know how to represent. Like that's not something I should even be involved in, to be honest with you. I think that's for somebody else to tell that story. They can tell that story in a respectful manner.
So you mean like as a one man developer, you're not going to have just one of the enemy soldiers, and you're going to be like, and this guy over here on level 3, he's gay, just so you know, you're not checking a box.
Yeah, I think it's kind of I hate it
what you're comfortable making.
Yeah, I hate it when people just like treat people as a checkbox. Like that drives me nuts.
That's a great
like,
point as well, man.
People are people, and you know, so if you know in the process a team's like, you know what, this character would really fit well into the story, then go ahead and do it. That's your guys' intellectual property. Go for it. I think that's fine. I think it's a little weird when the story and the game mechanics have zero to do with the subject matter.
Yeah.
And so that's why this makes this situation a little bit weird, because what does dropping in a map with no story have to do with someone's preference?
Well, you know, this isn't the first time it was done. It was done like basically this way with Overwatch as well.
Yeah.
I think the characters building characters within the game that they're trying to get people to latch onto. And like without calling it marketing, it sort of is on one hand, and on the other, it's just letting people. That's right.
That's the thing. So like marketing is involved in the whole entire process.
Yeah.
Of making games, and that's what people need to understand from early concept stages and stuff like that. They bring that up, and sometimes creators are, not thinking about these things. And I think that's the reason why some of these things kind of feel forced as well, because like they're like, okay, here's a checkbox we got to do. And they're like, okay, well, no one here can really relate to that. So we're just going to just be on the outside looking in, try to create something that fits that whatever stereotype or narrative, whatever it may be. And it becomes, I think, a little bit more of an issue. I think those stories are better told by people that are inspired because that's their life and that's what they experience. And, I think they can represent that in a very much a better way. I mean, if you look at, Naughty Dog, I think one of the somebody within there, they did a lot of homework with a lot of people with the main character and her relationship. And it's done in a very much a respectful way. It was part of the character development, the character arc, and and I think that's a good example of it being done right. So, I mean, here's the thing is people are going to have characters that may not relate to you, and that's totally fine. And you know it, and I think that's okay when you're just creating art. But I think when you're treating things as a checkbox, I think that's where I kind of like, and it doesn't matter what the checkbox is.
Kind of face palm a little bit. When
it could be a dude with a unibrow and a mustache, right? Like I don't care what the checkbox is. Is like, don't treat characters as checkboxes. Like Megan knows of one of the characters in my game, and like I didn't treat him as a checkbox. He's an integral part of the story, and as far as that the main character you play engages in, and along with other things that are going on in the background. So it's a very essential part. It wasn't just shoehorned in there. Okay. So like for me, I just look at creating things like that, and I would say if you are whatever background, it doesn't matter what minority your categorized as, think you can be involved in games. Just if you have any interest in it, just chase after it.
Yeah.
Don't be just telling developers what to do. Actually be part of the development process. And I think you get fair representation that way, much more than any other way.
Yeah.
I think the Don just put it best right there. That was good. I like that.
Stop kissing ass, sir.
I'm not kissing ass. I'm just saying he put it in perspective for everybody, and I think as a developer, he's on point there.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
with characters like that, I think it's just best for the creative options for where you create your character how you want to.
Does that work for every game though?
Well, I mean, for games like that, I didn't say for every game. I said for a game like that. I think that
like if you think about a game that creates choice, let's say a Mass Effect, well, then that gives choice, right? It's like it's not forced.
But that's a story game, and that's the thing. Yeah, and you really don't.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's different. Like if there was a story involved with Apex, then I can understand the whole point of bringing that up because people may not bring it. I mean, just to bring it up, I really don't understand why they wanted to bring it up in the first place. But
I mean, like, wouldn't it be on the same level as why do we need to know that she's from Planet X and she can teleport? Like, why do we have a backstory at all?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
A generic avatar running around and shooting guys. Why bother naming them? Why bother giving them anything? Just don't even give them a gender. Don't even give them a race. We can just run around as polygons. I think it has to be included in today is really all it is. It sort of almost has to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Creating your own character. That person, whoever that individual is, will create the person to more of their likeness or to their like spirit animal. You know what I'm saying? Character. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's kind of like that's what I'm saying. It's just unnecessary. It's not. I'm not saying that it's wrong that they did it. It's just that to me, it's just odd when you have a game that doesn't have.
I think it kind of limit it too. Because here's the thing. I think this is what Bot was kind of coming down to is when you leave it to the imagination, people can basically fill in the blanks however they want.
Yeah, right. Because now, say somebody who is a part of the community. Likes a certain character, has their main as a certain character, but then all of a sudden Respawn comes out and it's like, well, these two characters are a part of your community. Like, now,
I never thought of it like that either, man.
Yeah,
that's really good point.
You lose your connection with the character that was your main.
Well, Bob brings up Master Chief, for example, right? one of the design choices, and this is not, a lot of people just thought like, Bungie just didn't know how to make a character, but you notice this with any of their characters, they don't really talk a whole lot. That's actually a design choice, so the player will project themselves onto the main character that you play. In regards to that, and so that's the reason why, like, I thought of that, like, because now you're just limiting to whatever, whatever ones okay, you're this, you're that.
Yeah,
right. So
that's
like,
a part of your community right there. Like, no,
that's a very good point. That is a really good point, guys.
So,
It's changed the way I think on it too. Like, I'm for it being what they've done, but I can understand how what you just brought up. If they didn't, and someone who was a part of these groups really enjoyed, say, a homosexual character, that was their number one, like that was their main.
Yeah.
And now he's been outed as a heterosexual, right?
Damn,
outed as hetero, and you're kind of like, well, fuck. I felt a different way about him, and now because it's a thing, I guess I'm wrong, and that sort of sucks. Like, it's this whole
but that's not going to deter you from. But that's not going to deter you from playing the game, though. That's not going to deter you from playing as that character.
It won't at all. Like, not at all. Like, I do have a problem with all the women representation in Battlefield the way it is. It's overblown. The marketing was overblown. It didn't represent the audience that actually buys these games en masse. Like, I found it very pandery. And I think that's why the sales.
I don't think they handle it well. I
mean,
let's be honest.
That's right. But like the gameplay,
it did happen. Like, if you look at it, it did happen, but it just didn't happen here in the United States all that much, right? So, so way they reacted to is totally unprofessional. What they
no doubt. But I mean, like when I'm playing multiplayer, there is too many of them on the battlefield using the weapons that they weren't. Like, it is over-representation, but it doesn't matter. Like, I didn't like the narrative, but I love the game. It is my multiplayer game of this entire gen. I put in like 70 hours. I max rank. I do everything I can to do all the challenges. I love Battlefield 5, dude. I love it. Is it weird when I hear like women screaming as I murder them up on the field here and there? Yeah, but it's not game breaking. Like, I love the game. So it's not getting in the way of it. It's still fun as shit. I wish that maybe they just put him in the game and didn't market the way that they did, because it was weird. But like them being there wasn't.
You want to market in a very wide perspective. It should never be like agenda based and on any side, right? Like, you're neutral. You're not supposed to be left. You're not supposed to be right. You're supposed to be providing a product that everyone can respect and everyone can enjoy. And people have different perspectives on things. So when you don't take those sort of sides, and you're just like, in the case, and I'll use Battlefield because that's one that was a heated topic. It did happen. But the thing is, people don't realize that part of the story because we're part of a culture here in the United States. So what it should have been done is said, you know what, this happened in other countries. We're representing what has happened historically in other countries, and this is a fictional take on a historical event. And they should have left it. They should have left it at that. It shouldn't have been pandering to, hey, screw this one side or that side. It's just like, this is what happened, and this is why we did it.
I agree. Like, I'm convinced if they just left the women in the game as they are right now today, and didn't have them in the marketing as much, they could have, but not as front and center for as long as they did, and then react to the backlash like they did, of course. That was
they still could have put on the
then
cover.
No one would have
cares
said
about the
anything.
cover thing.
Like, when that game came out, running around, and when you shot a woman and you heard her die, your reaction would have been like, oh, okay, there's some women. And that's it. You would have heard a couple of yahoos out there making a big stink of it, but it wouldn't have been nearly as in your face or as big of an uproar if EA hadn't have been, I don't want to use the word, but rubbing it in. Like, they really were like, this is what we're doing, and
what you're trying to say.
This is the thing about it that I disagree. I know, Brad, but you just got to deal with this one on this one. I get it.
Hold on. K-Mega, just real quick. Yo, Sir X-Man hit up the super chat again. He's like, can someone give K-Mega a shot of something to drink? I think he thinks that you were being too quiet, man, and you need to speak up more. So.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, well, I'm letting everybody talk. I mean, that's just, whatever. But anyway, I just wanted to just make this point. I disagree to a certain extent. I mean, sometimes I don't have to carry the show. Jesus. I mean, finally you're talking. But anyway.
Oh, damn. That's a shot in the nuts, dude. Thanks a lot.
Damn,
okay. What EA made the mistake on was that they showed something that was not in the game at all. The woman where they were showing with the mechanical arm, that is nowhere in the game. That was just a trailer of something that's, unless they got something more to come. If they were going to do the representation of a woman, then they could have done it from any of the stories that they had for the single player, because those are true stories. Yeah. Those are not fake stories. Those are real life stories. And that would have empowered women. Just like, even though I think the Battlefield 1's individual stories are better, in my opinion, than 5, but they're still impactful because these are true stories. And if they did it like that, we're just doing the story of the little girl or the teenage girl, that was dope. That could have been very empowering just within that, instead of them coming out with this crazy hot trailer of mechanical arms and all types of shit. And I think that's what got people.
It was the mechanical arms. It was guns blazing, houses exploding. She comes out and saves the day with a cricket bat, like saves the big bad brooding man with her cricket bat at the very end.
Right.
Like I just thought it was so mismarketed. It felt like they were really rubbing what they wanted to do in your face.
It just wasn't a part of the game. If it was a part of the game, then I would say, yeah, whatever. Let grown men be crybabies because they're into their masculinity. But it wasn't in the game, and that's where they fucked up in it. And then, like you said, I agree 100% that they acted a little bit like children on the response, because the only thing they had to say was, look, guys, this wasn't even in there. I know that they were trying to defend women, but the fact of it is that shit wasn't even in the game. So you're defending a trailer that has nothing to do with the game, and then you kind of making yourself, look like an ass because people are saying this isn't what happened in World War II. So I get it.
I've noticed that with Battlefield 5, the last 2 or 3 trailers for the DLC maps and stuff that come out, the events, when you watch these trailers, they are a lot more old school, let's say. Like the female element is so backed away from that it's kind of like, okay, this is the Battlefield that people remember and we're asking for. Not that women are still in the game, and that's, people aren't upset about it. It was just the way that it was marketed. It was always front and center, always. And then even EA backed away.
RG Viper in the chat was like, Cyberpunk 2077 will represent everyone and every community, and dude, that type of game I can definitely see that.
Well, you also have a difference between era too, like that's the thing.
That's
I think
the future as well. Yeah,
you do people are sensitive to that, right? Like when you're doing a science fiction, you can do whatever the hell you want. That's the fun of science fiction if you're a creator, right? But when you're doing something that's classifies as historical,
then you gotta
people have family that have died in those wars and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so I mean, there's a little bit of respect you got to pay to. Like, I understand where we're trying to go as a society too, but you also got to be respectful for the people that did die for our freedoms in every country.
Well, remember your past,
right? So in World War I, right?
Well, you're gonna fall to the same things the past had if you don't know that they exist, and be embarrassed for them. Actually, like I can look at human history and be like, God damn, that's.
But there were women that fought in the war. Now, if they include the Hell Witches, if they clear up the Hell Witches, and then there was these guys that were just being just hating the fact that there was a woman on the cover and they were advertising the Hell Witches, then then they should screw themselves. Well, because the fact of this, that's a true story. Those women killed Germans like no other. They were sniper elites. They killed hundreds and thousands of men.
Here's the thing, man.
And they flew planes. They were
heavy machine gun toting, grenade belt wearing, front line in the trenches. But that's the way the game portrays them.
Well, there was a lot of Russian women that were on the front lines that fought because there was so many.
That's why we're talking about teachable moments. Right?
I know.
So if you present that, which is a historical thing that happened, right?
Yeah.
Then you're. How do you?
Did they have a story with one of those women?
How do you get offended by that? Is what I'm trying to say. Is like, because it's something that happened, right? You can relate back to it, and then when people have a view and an opinion that's very polarizing to that, right? You can say, yeah, this has actually happened, and this is a moment that you can teach, and they can show respect for somebody that those people probably died too as well, and you can show they can get their respect in regards to that as well. So I mean, I think it's a missed opportunity for sure in regards to this. We should handle historical things with a lot more respect, which we could have done. I don't think Battlefield the game did anything wrong, but I think the marketing team wasn't the best how he handled it.
Yeah.
And in regards to this sort of stuff like inclusion and stuff like that, I think there are certain people that are better at it than others. And I think if we're going to be doing that, we got to do it in a respectful way. And I don't think it's respectful when you just, hey, here you go.
You tack it on at the end and check that box like you said before.
Well,
right?
by the way, they sleep with fill in the blank.
Well, guys, on that note, we do have more topics that we got to get into.
Oh, really?
Yeah, believe it or not. But, dude, that was an awesome discussion. Everybody out in the chat, yo, guys, you are absolutely amazing. And like I said before, this channel, this show, we will not kind of like tiptoe around topics. We will go full-blown right through them, no matter how sensitive they are. I feel like we owe it to you guys, to give our opinions and our thoughts about even the most sensitive topics out there. So, there was one of them. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. But I know King Mega was talking about crybabies, and that reminded me that there was a few people complaining about the latest Inside Xbox. And I will say, I will put my opinion out there. I watched the whole thing, and this was the first Inside Xbox where when it came to an end, I was like, oh, that's it? Like, I actually enjoyed the show. I thought the pacing was good. I even enjoyed what they were talking about with Halo. Yep, I did. But, yo, Knox, what did you think, man? Share your opinions, bro.
Yo, listen, look, I worked like 4 16-hour shifts. I threw that bad boy on, baby. That's better than any Ambien, better than melatonin. Knocked right out.
Oh, God.
Sleeping like a baby.
Brother, but they showed Devora is coming to Mortal Kombat 11. They had a red controller. They talked about...
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's so bland feeling, dude. They feel fake. They don't feel right.
Well, what do you expect from that show, Knox?
I want to be entertained when I watch it. I'm not saying that the subjects that they were doing or the interviews that they were conducting, like the interview with Terry Crews, was cool.
Awesome. That was awesome.
You know what I mean? But you saw how Terry Crews was acting? Like, yeah, man, I'm hype. Like that. Do that shit. Like entertain me, dude. It's just well,
dude, as much as Terry Crews entertained you, then you told that heart-wrenching story about the fan of his that had lost his son and everything, and I was like, God damn, I'm sniffling. And then he followed it right up with the adaptive controller commercial from the Super Bowl, which is just tear-jerkingly like beautiful stuff. It's just like, wow, the product is fucking awesome, man.
It's the host,
and
it's the host that I have like with the exception.
Larry?
The exception of the one dude,
Ricari.
That's the only dude.
Yo, Ricari should take over that
bro,
show,
he's
no
the
doubt.
Only dude that I like he has charisma, bro. The other dudes just feel bland, like they're going through the motions and reading off a teleprompter. You know what I'm saying? And the new chick from Mixer, she was alright, but Larry needs to book it. The bald-headed dude needs to get the hell up out of there too. And the white dude,
Bongos?
Yo, you talking about my boy Bongos, man?
Yeah, no, I think the British dude, he's a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know. It's
just me. That's my opinion. That should put me to sleep.
All right, well,
opinion's wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Mega, what did you think? Did you watch the entire show?
Well, I watched the majority of it. I was at work in my truck on a 15-hour shift, so I totally know what Knox was talking about. But we were waiting on some people to get everything set up so we could pour. But so I was watching it in the truck. But
okay.
I was you know how I'm always just like, look, man, I watch it for information and take it for what it is. I'm entertained. It doesn't take me that much to be entertained to listen to or to hear about video games. So it was cool. I do say this, that I like the addition of the other lady than the one that was there before, because she seemed a little nervous. You know, she just could seem like she could be relaxed. But the blonde, she was real cool. She had a little spunk to her. So I felt that. Of course, Ricari is Ricari. What's
when
up?
K Mega says spunk in a female, I'm like,
Gee,
here we go.
No, I mean, look, I mean, she was a little thick, but other than that, no, I'm just saying,
He likes white women, so it's fine.
I like all
But
women.
they're not
Don't
ashy,
get twisted.
right? Right, Dark?
No, I don't like
You don't
ashy
get ashy,
women.
man.
No, I don't like ashy women.
I don't think any dad likes ashy women, man.
No, we don't like ashy women. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. There's some freak out there that likes ashy women. There's probably
I guess so.
Yeah, but anyway,
It's dry skin, not ashy. Damn it.
stop it. Anyway, so the fact of it is, other than that, like, I mean, I know Larry Herb is. I know a lot of people get nail Larry Herb.
Dude, he's only 42 years old.
What?
He's only he's only 42 years old.
Shut up.
Somebody
No
sent
way.
me
No
somebody
way.
sent me his biography. 42 years old.
No, don't do
Nah,
that.
my man, no, he ain't.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
older than that dude.
I'm
I'm
saying
not.
he's
I'm
42
not older
years
than Larry
old,
Herb.
yeah.
By
No,
a
Larry
year.
Herb, he's got like 8 or 9 years on me. I almost fainted. I couldn't believe it. The dude looks like 70.
I thought
he's under 50.
I thought he was.
Yo,
wow,
Indie
he's
Gamer,
under
we're
50.
talking about
56,
the
man.
chick. Talking about the
He's
chick.
56.
I forgot her
Is he?
name.
Okay,
Oh,
that
all
person
right.
told me he's 46. I almost
Yo.
died.
Mega.
56 makes sense.
Mega, check out Indie Gamer in the chat. We're talking about the blonde girl. I forgot her name. I am so sorry. But he was like, she was tasty. Like, so I think he was kind of in there with you. You're like, yeah, she's kind of thick. I think.
She thick. But anyway, no. The thing of this is the thing, right? Like, I enjoyed the show for what it is. It did have a little bit more charisma since they have that other host with Ricari. I like the British dude. I like him. He's got that dry European humor. I think he's hilarious. The other guy is goofy, but it is what it is. And
I like
know
Ricari,
that
though. Like, he's
yeah.
definitely...
Everybody likes Ricari, I think, pretty much. But the show, it was a lot more in tune. I of course, I love to talk about Crackdown. I love the fact that they were bringing up stuff about Mortal Kombat, the Division. I mean, I thought the show was just cool. There was one show that I really thought was really, really great, and I think that was during the summer. And I think a lot of people thought that was a really good show. But but I mean, I take the show as just giving me information for what Xbox is doing, because I want that transparency. And so I'm not looking to see an E3 every time that I see Inside Xbox.
I think people are expecting like a mini E3 from Inside Xbox,
Right.
even to this day. And if you're gonna expect that, you're gonna get disappointed each and every time. I thought the pacing was a lot better. I like the interview with Terry Crews. I like what they showed with Crackdown. Even the controller, and I know people got an issue with Xbox and so many controllers, but guys, eventually those controllers are gonna be hooked up to your like cell phone and stuff like that. That's gonna be
Bruh, hold on. Larry Herb was
games.
born in 1976.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I was born in 75.
Yeah.
Bruh, like
What are you looking at? He's
I'm a few
56.
months older than him. Like, that's crazy. And I
Yeah,
look younger
Mega,
than him.
you know what this means? You can let yourself go and start wearing shirts like him.
No, I
Oh,
can't
white
do
gloves. Mega, you
that.
need white
Oh
gloves.
no,
Yo,
you can't have a big black guy with
Yeah.
with gloves on. That's gonna call the cops.
Yeah.
and report it.
Yo,
Especially white gloves.
Nylon
another
mask.
shout out.
Mhm.
Another shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat again, basically saying he is going to get me Ace Combat in 2 weeks because
Well, if he
I-
stops giving you money in the super chat, then he can get you.
Hey, my boy in the chat says I don't know accent. So dude ain't British? I thought he was British.
UK.
No, he's Irish.
Oh, he's
Irish?
Irish. Oh, he's Irish. Okay, all right. Well, I
we're
knew he was
showing how
from
much we
the
know.
UK.
We are international
He-
people.
Not from this
I should have
continent.
said UK. I mean, okay. But he's Irish. He didn't sound Irish. Okay,
All right. Well, Shady, you kind of well, hold on. Let's go to Predator first. I haven't heard Predator since he started putting on that music. Yo, Predator, did you check out Inside Xbox?
Bits and pieces of it.
Man, how come no? I watched the whole show, and I at the end of the show, I wanted more. Like,
I just like, the last couple of ones I've
You're
tried
like,
to
what?
watch all of them, and I know what it's gonna be now, and I'm not really like, I'll just catch the chat and Twitter or something like that to get a catch up on it. But like I watched a little bit of it, but I watched the Terry Crews part. I remember watching that, but everything else to me was like either stuff I already knew, or it was just kind of boring as fuck to me. Like Knox said, man, it's a
well,
good
Sea of
sleeping
Thieves,
pill.
they announced that they are going to
Again,
make.
this is like
They're going to make an
third-
announcement, man.
Oh yeah, and they're pimping Sea of Thieves out. They've been doing that since the beginning of the fucking
Word.
show.
Word.
I mean, it's Sea of Thieves every fucking show.
Metro
And I get
trailer.
it's a popular game for them. Like they got a lot of people playing it and stuff like that. And they have like updates coming out like
Mhm.
all the time. So you can't get mad at it. But I'm just kind of tired of it. You know, it's like, and I'm not in that realm where I think they need to have a whole E3 every fucking show. I already know that's not going to happen because they specifically put another show just for that kind of stuff. The one that we had a couple of months back. So we know that stuff isn't coming to E3. I mean, coming to Inside Xbox. They're gonna hold their little what the fuck was it called? They had a couple of months ago. They announced the studios.
EXO event.
They're gonna have EXO events for that kind of stuff. Like what you're gonna get at Inside Xbox is just updates on upcoming games and upcoming DLC.
We got the announcement of 2 more characters in Jump Force. We got an announcement of a character in Mortal Kombat. We got to see.
I'm just saying they don't need a whole show for that kind of shit. Like, I mean, they got to fill it with something because I think they kind of go in their meetings for these and like, okay, we're gonna focus on Crackdown 3. We want to do an hour-and-a-half show. We need filler, you know, and they just throw shit in there. Like, let's see if we can get something from these other people, and that's fine. It's a show.
I find that to be very hypocritical because before there was any inside Xbox anything, we were asking for this. Where is the shows? Where is this?
We didn't need a show though. That's my point. We just needed information.
The content isn't bad. The content isn't bad. It's the presentation that's bad. That's what I'm saying. The content is not bad. I don't think that people are expecting E3 at all these inside Xbox. That's wrong.
Some people.
Well, some people are they're mistaken. They need to stop. They need to stop.
We've had this show like 8 of these now. Like that's not coming.
The content is good. The presentation was poor to me. That's what I don't like about it. It puts me to sleep. The way they deliver that content to you is whack. Is boring.
Ooh,
that's it.
And I think that sometimes they I don't know, like, okay, like Apex coming out, that would have been something they could have put on the show because we can always come back and like Monday morning quarterback the show, right?
But like, did that show, and then also it came out like right as
that would have been crazy.
That was really good.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we can look at an armchair this shit after the fact. But like when you go into these shows, like if you know these games are coming, because they know Apex is coming, they had to approve it. Like they can go out to those people and be like, hey, you guys want to announce it on our show? Like let's do it on Inside Xbox, you know? Like that would have been perfect, but they don't do that. They announce Sea of Thieves, they announce Crackdown, not announce it, but they're showing stuff that we pretty much already know all the time. So like when the shows come up, I'm just like, okay, what game's coming out soon? Oh, okay. They're going to have Division. They're going to have this.
But, Shady said it right. They showed Metro again as well, but they showed new gameplay when it came to Metro as well. I don't know. I liked it. I can see what Knox is saying in terms of the presentation. With Larry, I've gone on record multiple times saying that I feel like Larry needs to retire. I think Microsoft should call me.
Not at 43.
They should call me. They should call me. And I can do the job for him, no problem. But if they don't do that,
call you to be the janitor.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Oh.
But, you know, I was gonna call you next, but I think I'm gonna go to the Don, and then I'm gonna go back to you, man. Yo, Don, did you check out Inside Xbox?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Are you gonna go with these bands of hooligans over here and criticize it like this? Are you gonna come over to my side and kind of point out the positive that came out in that show, man? Where are you going?
I don't believe in those sides, either one of them. Here's the thing. I think they've done a lot better. The pacing is a lot better as far as that goes. But I think at the end of the day, also as well, it's still too long. I think that's the biggest issue that it has. So when you have things that certain people are not interested in, like obviously there's a lot of things that Knox maybe not be interested in, or somebody else, and you know, they don't have to put up with such a long duration of somebody they may not jive with their personality or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And I think they need to shrinking it up just a little bit more. I think all the content they had in there could have been done in 10 minutes less than what they showed us. So I like what they did, but I still feel the pacing is still a little long.
Damn, I'm the only one that at the end of the show is like, I want more. I can't believe it's done already.
I didn't get to watch the very end of it, but I was enjoying it for what I seen.
I mean, it wasn't. I don't think the content was really the issue. I mean, people may not jive with certain personalities. I get that. I mean, that happens with any talk show. But I think the biggest thing, it was just a little too long. You know, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit shorter and making you go, because what you want is everyone to have an X-spot reaction. Man, I wish there was more, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like if you shrunk it up a little bit more, you would have had more people going, man, yeah, I wish that was longer. It's always better to wish the people
So
were
are you
longer
saying
than
I'm easy to please? Is that what you're saying?
you have to ask Mel for that one. I don't know.
Oh
Oh,
wow!
dang.
Wow,
She
brother.
probably disagree.
Yo,
Oh, cold blooded.
Damn.
I'm at a loss for words right now, which is pretty bad. Cause
She said, "Bot ain't about to having that penis steam."
whoa, brother.
Oh,
I wish I had a please stand by kind of like graphic
Please
here.
stand by.
Yeah. All right, well let's go to Mr.
Hey,
Sharp.
hit that like button, man. We at 131. Keep it moving.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. Yo, slap that thumbs up. Share this out on whatever social media you talk games on, whether it's Facebook, Twitter. Yo, let's get it out there. Let people know that this show is going on and it is on fire right now.
And so people know the dislike button's having a little bit of issues. So when you hit it once, you got to hit it again, and then
No,
you got to do
you
is
don't.
then you got to do is hit the thumbs up button. I don't know why you have to do that combination, but that's the combination you got to do if you dislike this video.
Yeah.
Ah,
Wow, I
that
see
makes
what you
sense.
did there. Yeah, it's the secret combination, man. But
Absolutely.
we take thumbs up, we take thumbs down. You know, just as long as you're interacting with us, that's what we love. But Dark, man, you know, Mr. Sharp as Tax, Dark Optimus tonight. Dude, what did you think about Inside Xbox? Did you get a chance to check it out completely?
I don't ever check out
Oh
these
my
types
goodness.
of shows. And
Last
I'm gonna
time
tell
we're
you why,
talking
because
about this, man. I swear.
no. There's a reason for it, because even if PlayStation or Nintendo did it, I wouldn't check them out. I wouldn't watch them, because you know why?
What?
All I care about is the games. I want to hear about the games. I don't care about anything else.
Dude, seeing new
there are
gameplay
things
and stuff like that doesn't get you excited for a
that's
game.
cool. No, not at all. I mean, I see the trailers. I see it. I'm all like, good. I'm good. I want to watch. I want to play the game. I don't care about anything else. So, I'll play the betas or whatever when those come out. But if I see too much of something, I'm like, once I play the game, because I'm like, oh well, I've already seen this in a video. I already feel like I've already played it. At that point, if I see too much of the game. I know people are different. People have different perspectives and different ways of getting into different video games and stuff. But for me personally, I'd rather have them not do a show and just tell us, like, hey, this is what's coming out. This is when it's coming out. Here's a trailer. Here's an extended look at it or whatever. Just gameplay of the game. Like I've already checked out enough gameplay of Crackdown 3 to know to myself, like, I'm either gonna buy it. I'm gonna Game Pass
want to
it,
play it, right? Like that game's
yeah,
fire.
I'm gonna play it. I'm definitely gonna play it. Like Crackdown 3, I'm definitely gonna play because it's in Game Pass. Definitely, like it's a no-brainer there. Like if you have Game Pass, you're gonna play Crackdown 3, even if you don't really think it's interesting or anything like that. You're still gonna download it because guess what? You're gonna be like, well, everybody else is playing it, or you'll see somebody playing it that's on your. Yeah, it's the newest game. You're gonna play it, so. I mean, for me, it's always just been like, I'd rather play the game, see a few, gameplay stuff, and then that's it. I don't really care about these shows, them talking, because them talking is just like, they talk for so long, and it's like I get why they have to do that, because they have to let people know what's going on and things like that.
Well, they have to fit their time slot as well. Like...
Well, yeah, that, but you can also make the show shorter too. Like, you don't have to keep it at a 2-hour show or you can make it like an hour or an hour and a half, or like even shorten it from that. Maybe be like, hey, our next Xbox, let people know in advance. Be like,
I thought it was less than that, man.
I think it was like an hour and a half or something like that, from what I saw in there. And then just scale it back every once in a while. Just be like, yeah, we're gonna do Inside Xbox, but this next show is going to be half hour or an hour. Like, you don't have to completely stay consistent with the timing, because there are a lot of people out there who will watch an hour and a half show, but then there's also people who are just like, an hour and a half, that's way too long. I'd rather just watch something that's 30 minutes or less, you know.
Then you get people like Predator who just watch the bits and pieces and highlights of the show.
Right, exactly, and that's okay. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
You know, as long as they are actually, you know, taking an interest in seeing it. But a lot of times, even the highlights aren't even really the highlights. They're like semi highlight of the show, because the show isn't. I kind of agree a little bit with Kotaku in a certain circumstance, not in everything that they were saying in that article, because a lot of what they were saying in that article was complete horseshit.
So
Like,
do you feel like they're threatened?
They're threatened. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Here's the
definitely
thing:
threatened.
they're bypassing the media.
Yeah.
The media hasn't been fair to them. Let's call it how it is.
Yeah, and they
Right.
found a
So
way around it.
Found a way around it, and here's the thing: the media hates. I mean, a lot of the media is not really a huge fan of a lot of YouTubers.
Right.
So you imagine
Only
what
about
happens. Imagine, yeah, right. Imagine when they decide to go consumer direct, and that's what they're doing with their marketing and their advertising. Now, we all know they can still use improvement, but regardless, that's what they're doing. And so they're basically taking away stories that's their livelihood as a media outlet.
All right, Don,
Yeah.
just
And
real
not
quick,
directly.
I don't want to forget, yo, C-Script, thank you, brother, so much. I caught the first time you did it, and you did it again. Hit up that super chat, dude. I really, really do appreciate the support. Thank you, brother. But so you were saying how, you know, they found a way around the media like Kotaku, and you think that they don't like that, right?
Yeah, they don't, because that takes away from clicks from them. So what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to comment and generate clicks. And you know, I think they took a calculated thing and say, okay, how can we do this story? And you know, we talked about check boxes earlier, right? I feel like they treat their customers like a bunch of check boxes, and they know where they can get people riled up and get clicks for their site, and that's what they did.
Well, they were definitely peanut butter and jealous on that.
Yeah,
Oh!
definitely a little
They
bit
were.
of that. But it's not just them. I mean, like, you know, just
It's
because they don't express
media.
it doesn't mean like the IGNs and the GameStop or GameSpots of the world don't think the same thing. So I mean, it's interesting. I mean, like I put a poll out there not too long ago, and I keep talking about it, but I find it interesting because the numbers are so more lopsided than I thought it was. I proposed the idea: do you want gaming professionals to be? Do you want them to be with smaller YouTubers, or do you want them to go to professional media outlets? And it was like 89% YouTubers. The other percentage was super small. It was a poll of 200, and obviously my audience is through YouTube. But it's quite shocking how steep that number has dropped off for those guys.
Yo,
And they're fake as hell. Like, it just comes off really fake. They're not hardcore gamers. They're there. It's a job. When I watch the videos of them playing games or getting flown out somewhere to see gameplay, half of them sound like it's a job to them. Like they're not happy to be there. They're not excited to get in there. I don't want shilling. Let's get that clear. Like, I don't want just pure shilling for product here. But they all just seem like it's such a drag to have to play these games and go get a sneak peek. And I mean, I can't stand it. I really can't stand it.
Do
They're
you
not
notice when they
passionate
leave
anymore.
those companies? When they leave those companies, they're happier, and when they do like YouTube videos and they're doing their own thing, like with YouTube, like you look at Alana Pierce, you look at all these other people who have left those bigger companies, they're all happier to do these kinds of videos. They're all happier to do these kinds of events and stuff, because they're like, we don't have to, you know, cater to what the corporate side has to do.
all right, yo, stop the presses, guys. Stop the presses. We have a question. Shout out to Yobi Dren for hitting up the super chat, and he's got a question for us. He's like, you know, peace, love, and life to the panel. Much respect. Basically, what do we think will have to happen to bridge the gaps between all platforms? You know, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. You got Verizon, Google, Amazon, Apple, Madbox. You got a lot of shoes to fill versus Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. So I guess basically he's asking is, what do we like? Amazon, Apple, Madbox. What do these companies have to do to get up to the same kind of like level as Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft? Who wants to take that question? Yeah.
I would
Make good
say,
games.
well, this is what I say. I say that it's the latter. I think that Verizon, Google, and Amazon already have an enormous fan base or base, more so than what the PlayStation has, more so than what Xbox and Nintendo combined. In some cases, just because if you're just going by just the individual consoles for this generation, not overall sales, but it's just, look, this streaming thing, and you got, like, let's just say with Amazon, they add that to their Amazon Prime, and then they'll have a slew of games, of newer games, you know, that, or you know, the latest games for their streaming service, for with the people that are with the millions.
Dude, we got Prime in this house, so like,
that's what I'm saying. It's over 100 some million users on Prime. I think it's almost up to 200 million. It's ridiculous of how many users that they have. And so if you add that into Amazon Prime, and these people can get to play games anywhere and it's stable, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's the problem for the consoles. It's something we talked about on GRG last night, is that Sony came out and admitted, the CEO of Sony said, look, cloud gaming is a
that's
threat
a challenge
to
right there.
It's a threat. He didn't say it was a challenge. He said it's a threat to consoles. And the fact of it is that, look, man, when you have Verizon, Amazon, and Google, they already have a huge install base or fan base or whatever you want to call them. And all they have to do is just equate the same type of numbers as much as an Xbox or a Switch, and then the ball can keep rolling. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's or if they even get close to what the PlayStation number is, like, let's just say they get to like 60 million people that wants to use their cloud gaming service. That's gonna make people start reconsidering on buying consoles if they're not a diehard gamer, if they're just a casual, if they already are signed up to any of these services. So it could be very, very, very serious for the console market in the future.
I got
Well,
you.
it's weird because you need like 4 to 5 times the user base for cloud streaming to be a profitable comparison to one person that buys on local hardware. So the number is not the 1-to-1 ratio people think it is. So I think what people need to understand is the people that have, I think this is where I'm double down on Microsoft, where I'm going to release my product, is first, at least, is if you don't have physical hardware, you won't capture the mind share. But if you also don't have digital services, you're not going to do well either, right?
Yeah,
it's
because the younger generation that's coming up that is, eventually going to take over as the main source of revenue for these companies. They grew up on digital. They grew up on tablets. They grew up on cell phones,
well, my
stuff like
nephews
that.
and all that, they moved over to PC. So like, and they're hardcore PC hardware people right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, you don't know where these people are going to go. That's what I'm kind of saying. Like, some people may just want to play on tablets their whole entire life. Whatever, that's their choice, right? Not something I would do, but that's if they want to do that, and there's a difference there, and they're okay with that difference. Then who's for me to impose upon that person? So the thing is, if you don't have a strategy with all the different demographic of gamers, you're not going to do well, and that's what Sony needs to understand. That's what I think Microsoft already does understand, and I actually heard that Google is going to be making local hardware as well.
I believe they're going to do that as well. I believe, and in some way or form, I believe Amazon is going to come out with some piece of hardware as well.
I keep hearing conflicting results on that one. I don't know what they'll end up being. I have heard people that they've abandoned the local hardware idea, and then others.
Yeah, I was going to say they at least had something in R&D at some point in time.
Yeah, they absolutely did. That's the thing is, but I know Google is definitely heavily invested into doing some sort of local hardware. What form factor that's going to be, we'll see. But I think you have to hit all the pillars, because I think gamers are going to float between each individual thing. I think some people will go, oh, I'm going to do streaming for a while, and you're like, you know what, I want that better experience. I'll buy the local hardware. It's no big deal. It's one-time purchase. You're good to go. and you have a better experience. And it's not about like having a disc, right? Because you can download it. And then those people also can stream it till they can download their purchase, right? So they can get into the game quicker. So I mean, there's all these different things that are aspects, but if you don't cover every category, those are the people that they're probably going to fall from the wayside, to be honest with you.
All right. Yo, I got to ask our special guest here. He's been kind of quiet. I see him in the chat, though. And I like some of the responses in the chat. Yo, Shady, what do you think in terms of our brother Yobi's question here when it comes to like Amazon, Verizon, Google, in terms of them, catching up and being on kind of like the same level with Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony? What do you think it's going to take?
I actually interpreted the entire question differently when he
Really?
used the term bridge the gap, I think is what he's getting at. And to me, that means breaking down barriers and walls. And I think it's going to happen when the entire industry starts to view every single device. That includes Xboxes, PlayStations, Nintendo's devices, iPhones, Androids, pads, computer, all of it. Every device as a potential customer. Every single one of these companies is going to look at every device as a potential customer in the future, the same way that every single company in the world that makes a movie looks at a DVD player and a Blu-ray player or an HD player as one. Not, this is exclusive to Samsung players only. No one has done it. No one. Only in gaming is this being done, and it's about to die. And I'm thanking the gaming gods, RNGesus, all hail. It's got to go. It's got to go now. I'm sick and tired of this exclusive bullshit. I'm sick and tired of buying more of the same console that is almost exactly the same as the one that I enjoy using, but the only reason I have it is for 4 or 5 games. It's a waste of money. These companies know it, and I think that is what's going to bridge the gap in the future. xCloud, Microsoft's already said that's what they're doing. And I think this is what Apple and Google and Amazon are going to do as well, man, is they're going to work on my Xbox. I'm going to be able to do my Amazon streaming or Google streaming from my Xbox if I want to. Microsoft gets a piece of whatever I give Amazon through my Xbox. That's how that'll work. And if I want to play my Xbox games, I can do it from there. If I want to play Sony games, I load up a Sony app on my Xbox and play it there. Same with Nintendo. I truly feel this is the way of the future. Maybe not next year or the year after or maybe 5 years, but I think it's going to be here in 10. These companies know to make the maximum money, you sell it to the maximum people. That's business. You don't sell it to a walled garden. And I think any device that has the potential to stream to the internet is going to be looked at by these companies as fair game. That's old metrics for video games. I think it's going away finally, and I'm so happy. I'd rather my hundreds and hundreds of dollars every gen that goes to rebuying multiple consoles go to just buying the games that I really want to play. I really do, and I think that it's going to work for the companies.
I would expect that they want you to be trapped in their ecosystem. I don't think some things are just will not.
The ecosystem being an app that's necessary, not the device anymore. I don't think the ecosystem is going to be the box. It's going to be the app running on the box. Netflix runs on anything. You know what I mean? So Xbox gets a cut from Netflix.
Neutral territory. But some things are going to be blocked off. I mean, unfortunately,
it'll take a while. Yeah, I think it'll take a while for some companies to maybe play along. But in the long scheme of things, I really think video gaming is going to become like movies, where it just works on every player, every single player.
This is turning into a very kind of like interesting, end of this generation, the beginning of a new set of hardware. Because even like Sir X-Man hitting up the super chat again. Thank you again, my brother. You are killing it tonight, bro. But he said Xbox.
He's one step closer to not getting you in combat.
Yeah, he said Xbox built into your Samsung TV. Now, end of last generation, we wouldn't have even talked about anything like that. That's why I feel like this is interesting going into a new set of hardware and where these companies are trying to expand.
They talked about that before. They talked about that
but
with the other
we didn't, man. We didn't. The community, it wasn't a buzz in the community like it is now, because you do have like Xbox talking about xCloud. You do have Google, running Assassin's Creed, through basically just your computer, the search engine. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things going on right now, and it's got people kind of like thinking outside the box in a lot of ways when it comes to gaming, man. You gotta admit, it's an interesting time to be in when to be a gamer.
It's a rerun. We've experienced this before. before. And here's the thing: is like you're going to see new players on the market, and what's going to happen is there's going to be there's the expectation, and then there's going to be reality that hits with all this sort of stuff, right? And then there's going to be a reshuffling that tends to happen in regards to those situations where we see where the market will decide to go or not. That's where we're at. So yes, people may be open to the idea now, but they haven't experienced the idea on a grand scale. So when that happens, the question is, where is that going to land? Mm-hmm. And I said this before, there's a lot of people that are going to try. There's also going to be a lot of people that are going to fail. Just like when there were a time, and you grew up in the same generation that I did, where there was a lot of hardware that made it to the market that no one bought.
I had
right?
an Atari Jaguar.
Jaguar is one of those.
I wouldn't be bragging about that, buddy.
Dude, I have to, man. I was one of the 3 people who got one.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of these streaming services, they're not all going to be the same. They're not all going to be equal, not even close. So the question is, certain ones will be more people will gravitate towards than others, and which ones those will be, and which ones will be able to scale as we get more and more users. That's the real question.
And
when it comes
well, Don, with that being said, that's why I think Xbox kind of has I think if their kind of like Streambox works, talking about the hardware that will lower kind of like the latency and stuff like that, if everything works the way that they kind of hinted at and kind of quasi talked about and stuff like that, I think that puts them kind of like in the lead with that, because they have a great middle lane with physical hardware that will help with latency but also do the streaming. It's at its core.
They're a trusted brand in that field, right? That's where it comes right down to. That's where like the Amazons and Googles are at a disadvantage, and I would even say Apple, right? They're not known for gaming. So like it's a trusted brand, trusted ecosystem in that area. So I think that's where Microsoft that's the real thing. If they can get it to, and if the audience, they can find the audience for the streaming, then yes, then they'll do really well. I still think there's always going to be a deficit between streaming and local hardware, and even Phil said it, in regards to that, and that's just being honest about it, right? Like it's going to be there, but it doesn't mean there's not a customer base for that. That's the thing what people need to understand. This is a whole nother customer base that may not be the people that we play with, but doesn't mean it shouldn't exist, and doesn't mean that people shouldn't be able to, play however they want to play. If you want to play streaming, that's up to you, man. If you want to play local, that's up to you. It's like it shouldn't matter.
Real quick, I got Adam Sharp in the chat asking me a question. He wants to know, well, how come Amazon has exclusive shows and Netflix has exclusive shows and all that other stuff? Yeah, they do. But both of those programs work on my Xbox, on my TV, on all my other devices. Mm-hmm. So EA games are exclusive to EA. Every time an EA game gets sold, they're making money. There's no longer exclusive to hardware. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. The hardware exclusivity is dying. Thank God. That's my point. Not exclusivity in general. Microsoft will still make games that are exclusively made by Xbox Game Studios. That's the way the world works. Disney makes exclusive products, but they still go to every movie theater. They still work on every Blu-ray player. That was my point.
But with that also happening, right, you're going to have these companies also branching out and doing their own thing, kind of like what Marvel is doing, right? A lot of Netflix exclusive stuff was Marvel's content. Now Marvel's making their own shit. It's not going to be on Netflix no more. Now you got to get it directly from them.
That's right. But it's still going to work on my Xbox. It's still going to work on my TV, right? The devices aren't exclusive. The apps are. The programs are. The companies are exclusive still.
I get that. I get that. But then if publishers start taking their stuff off, let's say like Game Pass, right, and start putting it out their own app with their own shit, then what's Microsoft going to market to people? Then what's Microsoft going to market to people through their Xbox app?
It's going to be a bit of everything.
It's going to be Halo and Gears and
that's why they're buying studios.
I don't know why people draw the same parallels, because streaming game is dramatically different because it's interactive.
Yeah, I think Knox has made one of the best points I've heard about this.
No, it's important to understand this because streaming games is incredibly different than streaming a movie. As I said, I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to pull this off.
No, and
very few will.
And that's what I'm saying, Don. That's why I agree with you about the hardware, right? That's why hardware, to me, is going to be here to stay, because when you want that experience, let's say EA takes their EA access, right, and puts it on Samsung TVs and LG TVs, right? Kind of like what OnLive did. OnLive did this last generation, bro. You know, they were just early to the party.
I think we're talking about two different things.
What I'm saying is that you still, like, even if they want to stream through their app, they still want to sell their game to the hardware. You know what I'm saying? That's why
there's only so many companies that have the ability to actually stream, like the technology that Azure Cloud is what Don's getting at. So they have to go to Microsoft, and Microsoft is providing the apps. Basically,
they want the dependency on Microsoft. Like, this is the reason why certain companies hate Microsoft, because they're always dependent on them. Right, they always get a cut of their cheddar.
That's true, right there.
Right,
as well, man.
And then that's how Microsoft operates, right? So we create technology that enables other technology companies to be able to accomplish things, but you got to be able to play ball with it. So what you're seeing is an arms race to who can make it work in a reasonable form factor, right, for a different type of audience that you can bring an additional revenue stream in. And when you have these other companies like Ubisoft or EA, if they decide to go like rogue, right? Well, their services is so subpar, then you're like, well, why would I want to do that? So they want these companies to be dependent on their streaming services, just like they're dependent on their actual hardware, just like they're dependent on PC, just like anything like that. That is the strategy. They want that dependency that what's going on there. And everyone's racing for that dependency too. So that's where you're seeing, like, you see the Googles and the Amazons, they're racing. They want people to be dependent on their service because they have a huge cloud network as well. So they actually have something that they can offer for, you know, these outlets that they want to do. I mean, Ubisoft, like he's backtracked a little bit. Like, he said, "Oh, it's all gonna be streaming," and down the road he goes, "Well," and he's kind of like danced around the statement, because now he's starting to realize that maybe that's not completely possible in regards to that, because he wants to go rogue. They want to cut out the middleman. Everyone wants to cut out the middleman.
Yeah, but you know gamers, bro, and we're not going to want to have 500 million. At least I know I don't want to have 7 different subscriptions to play my gaming, bro.
I totally get you on that.
I want to buy my console and buy my content.
It won't be a subscription service. Like, xCloud's not a subscription service in itself. It just lets you have access to the content that you own on your Microsoft account via streaming. That's it. Right. That's all it does. So if you own Battlefield 5 digital, and you're out and about with your phone and you're feeling the itch to go and shoot some women on the battlefield, you can load it up.
I see what you did there, Shady.
You can load up Battlefield 5 because you own it and have it streamed to you. You're not actually subscribed to xCloud. You just have a Microsoft account. That's the way it's going to operate. It's not like Netflix where you're paying them $14 a month to access
that's the way it is now.
That's what Game Pass is. But xCloud is different. It's just allowing access to owned content is what it's doing, and streaming it to you. And I don't think they're going to charge at all. You're just going to need to have a silver account.
Yo, guys,
I wouldn't subscribe to what their business model is on it yet.
No, I can't guarantee it.
I mean, there's going to be a means.
Exactly. That's what
a means to do it. Just the question is
I think you have to have a gold account for it to work.
Gold could work because it's online, so maybe. But like, a lot of games are single player. So if you want to stream your game single player, like, it depends. If they can pull in a lot of people by just making it barrier to entry free, I don't see Google. I don't think they're going to start charging for it either. They just want you to buy games through Google. And if you stream
I think it's going to be a part of their service. I think that they'll like
more expensive copy too. Like, so let's say, hey, you bought, instead of $60, you bought a $70 version of that game.
Oh, maybe
it has streaming capabilities. You can download it and play it. You have multiple.
Yeah, that's possible. Like, I did speak on hand on their business model. It is possible,
like that, right?
It is possible.
Or you can buy just the streaming variant. That's going to be a certain price. And then you can always upgrade your copy. Would be ideal. So let's say you're like me, like, hey, I'm going to run on my local hardware. I'm going to run it on my PC and run it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am strained. I have to do a lot of traveling for what I do now. Trying to, get certain partnerships and stuff like that. Well, man, if I had a Nintendo Switch or had my Xbox controller connected to my phone, maybe I will try streaming on a game that's a continuous one, like, say, like a Destiny or Anthem or something like that. And if I can stream it, then by all means, I know what I'm signing up for. I know that's going to be a deficit in experience, but I'm also playing it portably. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have my 55-inch QLED in front of me, so I know.
Like, the way they've described it now is just you will have access stream wise to the content that you currently own or subscribe to, as long as all those parties involved have agreed. It's similar to the back compat. These companies need to give permission to Microsoft to allow their game to be allowed to be streamed. So let's say Ubisoft doesn't like it, and they could say no. But like cost wise, I did speak out of hand. It might cost something. Like I really don't know, but
I think
they did say that specifically it is to access content that you own. They haven't come out and advertised it as any form of subscription service yet. I really don't think it's going to be still.
Well, here's the thing: you're gonna know a lot more about it in like literally at the end of this month.
That's cool.
Okay. GDC is they're gonna talk more about it.
Oh yeah, right. GDC is right around the corner.
Right.
Yeah,
I just want to make. I wanted to make
go
one
ahead.
point, and then I'll be done. Well, 2 points. One, I wanted to go back to the whole inside Xbox and just say, look, if they got Morgan Webb or Jessica Chobot or got the great one,
dude, you've been sitting on this one for a minute.
Adam Sessler, look. Then I don't think anybody would be bitching about
and they'd have a show
inside Xbox, because then it'd be like G4 a little bit. Okay, but anyway, but my other point to what everybody's talking about, I know that everybody keeps thinking that, look, hardware is always going to be available. We said that about the CD, we said that about the cassette, we said that about other things. And I understand, Don, before you even start with, well, that's different. That's a different property than the game. Look, as long as the more as technology keeps going, then there's you know what I'm saying. Change. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's going to generation or the one after that, but it eventually is going to be where convenience is going to be a much more bigger selling point than it is for somebody just wanting to go buy a PlayStation 4.
On that same argument, if you lose control of your game, is that convenient?
That's what people are saying with digital purchases from the get. They say,
no, I'm talking about you interact with the game.
Well, we'll see that. I mean, look,
I have seen that. That's what I'm trying to say. I've been seeing it for a long time. So what I'm trying to get of what's going on, being realistic about it. I see things that you guys don't get to see.
I'm being realistic about it. Look, I mean, this is where the market is trying to go. EA is even making their own cloud service. Look, there's a lot of the difference between what happened in the 90s when you had 3DO and Jaguar and all the rest of them. They didn't have the capital. You got companies that has the capital to take a hit and keep on punching.
They don't have the technology.
Yeah,
I agree.
They may not now, but it doesn't mean that they can't. They got the money to get it.
No, there's only so many more talented people. Here's the thing. There's so many people working on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no one's been able to do it yet. So the question is, who's going to? The other thing is, actual server farms need local devices to be sold in order to bring the cost of local server farms down. That's how chip technology.
I don't think that Google or Amazon is going to just jump into something and without having their ducks in a row.
They have a plan.
They're not one of the most richest companies in the world.
Tell you how it works. I'm just saying,
they got capital. Some of them got more capital than Microsoft.
But the question is, are they going to be profitable with that capital? That's
the question.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like if every gamer right now went to streaming, the industry would implode. Well, it really would.
I agree.
It would implode, and the reason why it would implode is on several different fronts. AMD needs what brings down the cost of the most expensive hardware is cheaper chips being produced. What brings cheaper chips to be more powerful is more powerful hardware being produced. They need one another. They actually have a symbiotic relationship with one another. People don't realize this.
But this is what they're aiming towards. You're talking about. Hold on, Don. You said today, if everybody went to streaming today, right now, the industry would implode. And I'm not. I would lean more towards yes on that. But what they're moving towards, and I think this is what K Mega is saying, they're moving towards the streaming as like that the core concept is what they're moving towards. They're doing it the way every other technology has done it, little by little, and throwing it in there.
People need
just listen to what every other company besides Sony has been saying about this. No,
be
Nintendo didn't
talking
backtrack.
backtrack.
Nintendo doubled down. They said, look, the console is the least of our thought process. We're not worried about a new console. We're worrying about how we can move forward to have our games to be played by the most people.
But that'll be them partnering with someone. It won't be them making their own stream network like
that's
this.
because
I
Nintendo's
agree with that.
investors
I
are the
agree
ones
with
who didn't tell you right now. Nintendo's investors have been very critical about them keeping their content exclusive on their hardware.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from. So I have an answer for everything you guys are talking about.
Well, I know, but you and I
I'm just
both know if
saying, you guys are
Nintendo
all
went third party like Sega, they would make
trying to
quadruple of
You're
much
trying
money
to draw
what
the
they make
same
now.
parallel between DVDs, CDs, and all that sort of media compared to this, and it's different.
I'm not saying that it's not different, Don, but I'm saying that the technology is going to eventually catch up to where it will be there. People were saying the same thing about this and that. Look,
you know how the speed of light works.
Oh my goodness, Don.
No, this is simple physics, right? Speed of light takes less time to move in a short distance than it does a long distance. That's where latency comes from. You can try to mask it, you can try to shrink it up. It will not be the same.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll
look,
see. Here's the great thing about doing a show
in Tokyo. Those people are way far more advanced with their technology when it comes to online gaming.
Yo, Mega, check this out.
We're far behind.
Mega, check this out, and Don as well. This is a great discussion. Shady,
Dubai.
Pred's been quiet on this. I don't know what's going on here. I think he's tired of talking about it. Yeah. But the thing is, we have a live show that gets archived on this channel. So, down the line when things really come to fruition and, we have xCloud and stuff, we can always go back to this episode and see what we were talking about and see what actually happened. What
are you saying? Pull out receipts and hand out L's? Is
that
what I'm hearing? Some people put some L's on this episode.
Yeah, no.
I'm saying is this.
I've been dealing with networks for 20 years.
Will K Mega get the legendary L or will he get the loser?
It's not even about a gotcha.
You get the loser L all the time, Mega.
That's the thing is, you guys don't get it. It's
That's
not about
what your old lady say.
It's not about a gotcha.
I wish I had an old lady.
Oh, well. I can't say your old man because I don't swing that way.
No, but Don, I'm saying I find it interesting, with being a YouTuber, when we were talking about Project, the Project Scorpio, and me and you thought, what would be under the hood. We were making, logical kind of predictions on what would be under the hood. We ended up being wrong, right?
No, I had two predictions. Where I placed my bet was wrong. I had two predictions, and there's one of two ways that could have been done.
Well, then I'll take you out of it, and I will put myself there.
The receipts were there, and what happened. So what I'm saying is, maybe I placed the bet in the wrong place, but in this thing, I'm not placing a bet. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm not placing a bet at all on this sort of stuff. And I'm for technology. I don't like, for example, I didn't really like physical hardware. I was okay with going digital.
Yeah.
So,
when
you can't put me in the dinosaur category with others.
I never did that, man.
No, I know you didn't. But I'm just saying, there's other people that sometimes they get criticized because of that. There's just a different experience.
Shout out to Crab Gamer, my brother.
How about this wrench of thought, Don? What if we get into quantum computing, where one computer, what it's up to and what mine's doing is happening at identical times in the quantum world, and the speed of light doesn't matter anymore? Could that be a thing?
That would be amazing if that would ever work.
Yeah, I don't think quantum computers are anywhere near the same thing that we think of computers. They do something different.
They have they're about as primitive as a strobe light right now. So
yeah, they do weird stuff, not like normal PCs.
Yeah, so they're just kind of one of those other things because they're looking into other technologies because the harsh reality is we're running into a little bit of a wall with what we can produce as far as hardware goes.
I just wanted to say quantum.
Yeah, I could tell, man. You were really excited. That was the word out of that whole phrase. You're like, yeah. Man.
I do think that this coming up generation is going to be about as long as the as the 360 PlayStation.
Oh, that's a prediction right there. That's a prediction right there, really.
Yeah.
Would you consider PC to have generations on just on
Yeah,
computers?
no,
Did they have
no.
generations, or is that just some ongoing advancing thing?
That's
I think
what
that's the
Xbox
way
wants to
gaming's going to
do.
go too. I think it's going to be the same thing.
Are you, so you're saying, are we already there?
I think
this
we're
is the
getting. I think we're
generation.
pretty much. I think we're pretty much. If
Once
it's
they
full
start having
forward compat,
upgrades for consoles, once they start having upgrades for consoles, and Phil Spencer did allude to that last year, that you know, in the future that they could be looking into doing upgrading consoles instead of just people just buying new consoles, but they'll still have that option. I think that's when it's officially over with generations.
All right.
it's kind of at the point now where buying a whole new console is about as cheap as upgrading like a nice graphics card. So you can kind of look at just a whole console purchase as your upgrade. You toss out the trash, you've upgraded to something awesome.
And that's
how
the
it
way.
works.
That's the
exactly
way.
how it's gonna be.
That was beaten to death.
Yeah.
That's the way Xbox is looking at it right now. If you look at it, if you talk to anybody inside Xbox, they're not starting a new generation, but it is a new release of hardware that's going to be significantly more powerful than what we're dealing with now. And
I don't
that's
think we're gonna have something like the N64 had that RAM pack. You know, you had to open up a hatch
dude,
and
I remember
slam
that.
them in.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to get to a moment where you're like opening up the hood of your Xbox and switching out cards or anything like that. They'll just sell you a whole new thing. Technology is getting cheaper and cheaper and more powerful always, right? So they're just going to sell you a new piece all the time and call it an upgrade.
I think we are.
Evil Resident, you are right, man. The Xbox One X, I believe they're going to be, when the whole Project Scarlet series of devices comes out, I think they are going to do forwards compatibility, and you're going to be able to play the newer games on the Xbox One X, and I still think they're going to look good, and they're going to play well. And it's going to be your option, what you want to do. Do you want to go to the next level with the more powerful gear? Do you want to stay with the X? It's all up to you, but they want you to either purchase their subscription service or buy the game, because that's where the money is with the whole gaming industry. But guys,
they don't want you to leave. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, they don't want you to leave. Come on in, stay a while.
Exactly.
Here's a Halo. How about a Gears? Like, hey, check out Crackdown, Wrecking Zone, and guys, dude, we are past the 9 o'clock mark, and we do gotta wind it down. I actually have to change the title.
Yeah,
of
you're
this
gonna
show.
have to.
Dude, we didn't get to talk about Anthem, Division, or Crackdown, but yet we had an absolutely amazing show tonight. Guys, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, we got to get the plugs in, and I want to give a huge shout out to our brother So Shady for coming back on the show. So Shady, it was an absolute blast talking games with you. Time flew by. Why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you to be able to continue the conversation talking games, man?
Yeah, man, you can find me on Twitter at the Sesh Empire. That's one word. On Xbox, I am So Shady. That's 2 words. That's all. That's the only places you can contact me right now. I'm homeless. I'm running around the community and actually doing a bunch of guest spots. I'm having a time of my life. I love talking games. I'm willing to do it with anybody, from the biggest of the big YouTubers to the smallest of the small YouTubers, man. If it's just me and a couple of guys and it's us in the chat, I'll still come and talk games, man. I'm passionate. I love doing it. Those 3 topics we didn't get to talk about, I'm excited. I played them all. Can't wait to get them. I didn't get a mention about what happened with Inside Xbox. I enjoyed the show. I like that. I know exactly what it is. It's just a big, long commercial for what's coming up in the next month, and I think they're doing a good job. Was it tacky? Yes. Everything video games is tacky when you're hyping it up on these shows. Jesus, the only thing more tacky than E3 is next year's E3. But that's that. Thank you so much for having me on the show, man. Like I said, I love doing this, man. I hope to come back sometime soon. Everyone in the community, thanks for coming out. Thanks for all the support. See ya.
Brother, you fit in like a puzzle piece over here. Just the door's always open. If you want to be on, you see like there's stuff you want to talk about, just let me know, and we will definitely have you back on again, bro.
Awesome.
Let's go to Dark, and I know Dark must be disappointed because
I'm very disappointed.
The 2 games he wanted to talk about. Well, Dark, if you're free Monday, we can do a live show discussing kind of like your thoughts on Anthem, Division, and everything like that. All right, so we'll pencil that in for Monday. I want to know exactly like what time you're free and everything, because that's my day off from work as well. But why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you to talk games, man?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter and Xbox Live at Knoxximus, and that's about it. And, just guest starring on a few shows here and there. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping to actually come back to podcasting very soon.
Oh, please, God, don't.
Oh, no.
Damn, Mega.
Bruh.
Dang. I thought
But
we were
now,
bros.
are you talking about possibly starting up your own show, or like?
No, just coming back to a show or a couple shows.
Yeah.
Like
You know, you guys know
He didn't
GRG
say-
is always available for
yo,
for
K
anybody
Mega.
to
You
come
notice
on
how
and
he
forth
didn't
stuff.
say this show? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm just throwing
It's
it
just
out
because no, I'm just saying, and I didn't want to point this out on the podcast, but I am still gonna say it anyways. I don't have time to make gameplay, and I know you like to do gameplay, so that's why I didn't
there. Dude, I love
give my
honesty,
offer to do that.
brother.
I just want time to do gameplay. So
dude, I love.
if you want me back, I'll do it, but I won't be able to do gameplay.
Well, then no.
Yeah.
We'll keep it as is then,
Send his
man.
Your
ass
ass
to
at home.
Hades.
Yeah. Yo, Pred,
I'm more homeless than Shady right now.
shut up, Dark. You're done. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yo, I'm trying to get to my brother who does the gameplay, Predator over here. Yo, Pred, I for the last little while there, you were kind of quiet. I know we really went in on the whole kind of like streaming and everything like that, man. But I want to let you know you are an all-star, part of the starting lineup here on Next Podcast, and I would love if you let people know where they can get a hold of you to talk about games, man.
Predator_H2S on Twitter. Pretty much everywhere. You find me on someone's podcast sometime during the week. Just keep an eye open. I was over here trying to pack a little bit while you guys were going all in on those topics. So
Okay.
that's why I was so quiet. But yeah, Predator_H2S, and I will see you guys in about 2 weeks.
Nice. And Predator will be invading California. So if you see 3 little red dots on you, just to let you know, Predator has got you in his sights. Yo, Knox, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Yeah. Another fire show, man. As always, I love talking to you. Whether it's about game, man, I could talk to you about anything. You're so opinionated. You come in with energy. Absolutely love it. Why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you and what's going on with your channel? I do know you've been working a lot lately. If you're seeing kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel, why don't you let people know, man?
Yeah, man. Right now, it's gonna be right here on the Next Podcast, of course, on Saturdays. I'm trying to, bring out the content for Knox We Trust. It's just been difficult. It's a lot of shit going on at work. That's just kind of keeping me stuck there more than I'd like to be. And then I got to rest. And then
I can
got
hear it in your
family
voice,
life.
man. See, I know you. I can hear it in your voice. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because I really want to do it, man. Like I have fun doing it, man, and I want to. So it's that's kind of killing me, But real quick though, like my man Dylon says, bro, that division is hot fire. Hot fire. I'm
Talking about the Division 2, right?
Yes, sir. The Division 2.
Yeah, baby.
That shit is hot.
Baby.
That shit is hot. I'm passing on Anthem. Definitely copping the Division.
Oh, damn. Dropping it at the end right there.
I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
Ooh, brother. I love the deer, like, in the streets, by the way. Like, the atmosphere of the Division 2 is absolutely insane. Yo,
Did they smooth it out?
Yeah.
Did they? Okay, I'm gonna try it out.
It's nice, bro. It feels like that Rainbow Six. It feels like what I expected from the Division 1. I know we already passed that. It's not even.
It's what I expected from Ghost Recon as well, but didn't get.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, Don. It feels good like Ghost Recon.
It does feel good like Ghost
I
Recon.
knew it was gonna have problems, so I kind of like just waited past the first day, to be honest with you. So I
didn't really need to. There wasn't really that many problems though.
Some people had issues. So
Yeah, some people.
Yeah, some people.
It'll boot you maybe like once or twice. Some people got booted more than others. But
Yeah, that's
we're
what
doing
happened.
after. I had your chance to talk about this topic.
Yeah, dude. I was like, yo, I
Thumbs
put it in
up.
the chat. I was like, listen to these gamers. They're gonna keep going, yo. Like, that's the way
It
it
sounds
is.
like
man.
GRG. That's what I'm liking. Let's go.
I tried to get
That
y'all
was
off
free.
that topic
Make it like
early.
a
I
4-hour
want to listen to
show.
Fred.
No, we got 3-hour shows. We don't go 4. I think we did go 3.5 one episode. That was too
Yeah.
goddamn long. I was like, y'all are stupid.
Yo, longest
Stop
for
it. We
next
got
was
to
like
go.
3 hours, right? We did 3 hours, a little over 3 hours.
No,
think
dude, you did like 3.5 hours.
We
show,
did
dude,
a
one
marathon for charity, man. Let's go. Yeah. All right, yo, Don. It was good to have you on, man. You jumped in. I guess you were catching some shit from So Shady, you know, with you not being on here. It was good to see you pop in. You know, that's the way it works between you and Dark. You guys can come in any point in time. It was a lot of fun talking, you know, the topics. I got to give a huge shout out to Yobi for coming out with that super chat and giving us another question that he wanted answered, and that just, man, that rolled into a whole discussion, and I think everybody enjoyed. But Don, why don't you let people know, you know, what you're up to, where they can get a hold of you to, you know, kind of like to continue the conversation, man.
Yeah, the best thing to do is follow me on Twitter. I know I've been working on a lot of things on my YouTube channel. The last linchpin has been done literally on the middle of this podcast. So my intro is ready to go. I am dropping something tomorrow. And then the Halo series will start this Wednesday, where I create my version of Master Chief. So
nice. Cool. I can't wait to see that, man. I know you are incredibly creative. I think we are almost on the same page when it comes to the aesthetic styling, and I haven't seen anything really from it yet, except your little teasers. So
check out the next DM right now.
The question is, John, who does your version of Master Chief get it on
with? That is not a story for me to tell.
Definitely not Locke, because Locke is dead. So there.
Yo, I want to give a huge shout out to C Script coming in at the end with the super chat. He just want to let everybody know it was a great show with a bunch of great people. Thank you, my brother. We really, really do appreciate it. And Yobi came in as well. And he's asking for one more hour. Dude, it is Saturday. I know. You can tell they're all gamers on the panel, man. We got to get in and get our hands on the controllers. It is prime time Saturday.
We'll be streaming today, so, you know, just hit one of us up. You'll see us there.
Yeah, bro. All right, and on that note, I started with the introductions. I started with him first, and we're going to go with him last in terms of the outros. My brother K Mega. As usual, it is great to come here every Saturday and talk games with you. I know you do a show on Friday, as do I, man. This is like, I don't know if we have any free time on the weekends, man. But why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you to talk games and what's going on with your YouTube channel?
Yeah, man. Look, wow, man. GRG next week will have its 2-year anniversary.
Woo!
Nice, congrats,
man. Thanks, man. And man, we're still going strong, man. I hope everybody comes and checks out last night's episode, the return of Delilah HD. That was real great.
That was awesome. Bringing that class, man.
Yeah, bringing that class back, man. And man, we even actually almost ended the show on the proper 2-hour time. So yeah, man, go ahead and check us out. But I did have to tell the story about the 150-pound man in Colorado that killed that got attacked by a mountain lion and survived, and said, "Look, I'm a man."
He killed it with his bare hands, right?
He choked it out to death.
He was a runner.
Yeah,
he was a jogger. Yeah, he choked it out. He choked a mountain lion out, bro. That's a man, 150-pound man. Like you just don't know, man. Like you can somebody like I'm a big dude, right? I walk up to him like, "Oh, you Pee-wee, what do you want to do with me?" And next thing you know, I'm on the ground. He got me choked out.
That sounded very, very.
Can you make a true story? I actually ran over a mountain lion on my mountain bike once.
What?
Total accident. Yeah.
Then did you wrestle it and tap it out in the
No.
forest?
I kept it rolling, man. I didn't look back.
I just kept on going.
Yeah. What happened was I was cutting the corner of a trail, and there was this tall grass. I didn't had any idea it was there. It was like kind of stalking prey, like coming across the trail, and I cut this corner because someone just like hit the brakes, and I was beeline around somebody, totally just, you know, tried to hop the corner, and then my rear wheel tagged something. I'm like, what was that in the grass? And I just hear this cat just go, wow. And then all of a sudden the guy behind me is like, go. Because we're both being chased, and I think eventually it gave up. But it was they don't mess around for sure.
Speaking of wild animals, there was like a 70-pound badger in my backyard the other night rolling around in the snow. I thought I was going to have to go out there and choke that bastard out.
Man, that's see, look, you're talking about badgers. You're talking about the baddest
Where are we going right now?
It's like Kodiak bear.
I know. I've never seen one before, and all of a sudden there it is in my backyard rolling in the snow. I'm like, oh my god! And it was huge, bro. Like 70 pounds, easy. This thing was like a little bear. And I was like, oh my god!
You just stay in your house. Don't even try to catch no fade with that, because that thing thing will have you.
Those badges
Yeah.
are vicious, man.
Yeah,
Guys,
your badges are the real
guys,
deal.
this
But anyway, no. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is a great way to end the show. We went Cougars, Badgers, running over with a bicycle. Yeah, how many other gaming podcasts do you know wind down a show like this, man? This is incredible.
Oh, well, I mean, like I said, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I look at GRG kind of like as a spinoff of Next because, because I'm here, I started off here, and then I did my thing. But I mean, we have some wild endings too. But I just appreciate all the people that supported us. And the one thing I wanted to say is that, look, I'm bringing back the original recipe like I started off the show, kind of reminiscent off of what, Bot's doing, having some presentation, because there wasn't too many of us that was doing the presentation thing. It was like GKB, four guys with quarters, XBot, and I mean just a few others I could think of. But now everybody's doing it. When I started it, then I was told, oh no, nobody looks at that, nobody pays attention to that, and so I stopped. But I'm like, the hell with that. You know what I'm saying? We getting back to the root of what we were when we first started.
Oh, so you're gonna be having heart attacks and headaches over people giving gameplay?
Exactly. Yes, it's gonna happen all over again. But everybody's is excited, and we're happy to get back into it. So, man, yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up just to make sure that I got the final touches. But
in other words, he's going to ask me completely how to do everything. That's what's
I got it all. I still got it all ready. I just
how do I turn on my computer?
I just need to make sure everything else is
right now.
Hey, Bot, fuck it. Just go ahead and just sign up to my YouTube, and you just take over the show.
Is it
right
true
after
that
Crossfire?
his computer inside a microwave?
Oh my goodness!
Can we end this show
Yo,
already?
guys,
Shit,
on that
man.
note,
we're done. Thank you.
On that note, yo, huge shout out to everybody who checked out the show. Thank you guys for all the support. If you haven't done it yet, definitely slap that thumbs up button, and of course subscribe. We are here every Saturday, 7 p.m. and we're doing our best to give you the most entertaining and informative gaming podcast, complete with something to watch with gameplay. And I hope you guys like it. Thank you again. But I am gonna end the show the way I end it every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hey, and if y'all ain't gaming, y'all better be doing that pants off dance off.
Woo!
We out. Let's go.